Good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the one and only Great American Little Town podcast. We are the podcast information source for the city of Galt. I am your host, Sean Farmer. I am here with my wonderful co-host, Mr. Dan Denier.
That's me. This is the last week I'm on the show.
Until the next time you're on the show, not for good. Don't freak out our viewers. I don't want to lose the Fandango Club. I don't want to be like the Fandango Club. Just turn off their TVs right now.
Yeah. Last time for
Dan will be.
You won't see me next week.
Yeah, Dan will be in South Dakota, North Dakota. You know what, man?
Everybody says South Dakota. It's like there's a North Dakota too. There's two states.
I'm gonna ask you a real question though. Is there a difference?
Yes.
Except for the word one says north and one says south. Is that the difference?
Yeah. Well, the what is that? Rushmore is down in South Dakota.
And that's it?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because they both look like squares on the map.
Unless you're from North Dakota, and then you would say that there's a big difference between South Dakota and North Dakota.
Both of them are square, both of them are cold, both of them have a lot of flat ground, well, except for Mount Rushmore.
Oh, there's a lot of
what else?
Yeah, you're right. A lot of wheat, a lot of crops, a lot of pheasants. Yeah.
Really? A lot of pheasants?
Oh, when we were back there in November, my sister and I took a road, drove somewhere. There was probably 30 pheasants on just like a 30-minute drive.
So it's like a hunter's dream.
Oh, it was insane. I've seen so many pheasants in my life. Crazy.
So we have a great guest tonight, Miss Madison Delbrug from Parker Realty.
Return guest.
Yes, right.
Yeah,
Madison's on the floor. Yeah. We're going to
She's either a glutton for punishment or we didn't scare her off the first time.
Yeah, or she had absolutely nothing better to do tonight.
Because she doesn't have anything to ever do.
Yeah. Well, so Madison's, like you mentioned, Madison's with Parker Realty. Parker Realty is one of our sponsors, which is why we try to give some love to our sponsors and have some of them on our show from time to time to talk about certain topics that we think we're going to be talking about. And so we gave Madison the opportunity. We've been talking about this kind of a little bit off and on. So when we get to that segment in our podcast, we'll be talking about some of the new homes in Galt. They're building a few different projects around, but what are some information on those houses? Like, what are some of the price points? They're all different builders, so they're all going to be different, right? She's going to talk about some of the differences. We're going to talk about some of the fees and things that are attached to those homes that maybe people don't realize. She's going to give her opinion on some of them, which we think are her favorites as far as build quality, location, and such. So it'll be a good conversation. I look forward to it. So
as much as people look at new construction and go, oh, they're all the same, there is differences and nuances and stuff. And
they kind of do seem like they're a lot of the same. We'll talk about some of the design features when we get to that topic, but we're also going to be giving away some prizes tonight. We're going to giving away some cool Galt swag, not our podcast swag. As a matter of fact, I still have to get that stuff. It's ready, but so next show for sure. But we have some if you're a Galt Warriors fan, I have some Galt Warriors swag. Sorry, I don't have any Liberty swag tonight, but we do have some Galt Warriors that was gifted us to give away. I also have some tickets to the Galt Sunrise Rotary Taco de Mayo. This is a huge thing they do every year, a big fundraiser. I got 2 tickets to give away tonight, so we'll be giving those away towards the end of the show along with the other stuff. So stay tuned until that.
I have a couple of Parker Realty hats too. We can give out if people ask us questions or something related to our segment. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll think of a cool question, like a little trivia question of some sort, and we'll give them away or something. Cool. We definitely want everybody to be engaged tonight. So we're going to be asking some questions and want you guys to chime in. One thing is really interesting. I think it'd be fascinating to see what our viewers will think. And so we're going to get to that point. We'll ask you. I want to remind everybody that Great American Little Town podcast is not associated with the city of Galt. We are independent from the city. We're not a spokesperson for the city. Our views and discussions we have on here are simply our own. And although Dan and I share positions in the city as elected officials and appointed positions, we are not a platform for the city of Galt. So for the city per se, the people of Galt, but not the city, not City Hall. So anyways, so what's hot in the news today? What's going on? Oh, they opened up the the Strait of Hormuz, apparently, and then now it's like it was open for like a minute. They're like, all right, we're gonna be up. Oh wait, hold on, no, we're gonna close it again.
I thought you were gonna say they opened up the bridge going to the preserve over there. That's the big one.
That is big news.
Yeah. They say it's been closed for 3 years, but I'm pretty sure it's been closed longer than that because I think they had it closed, then they opened it and then closed it again.
Oh, really?
So that 3 years, I think it's been.
But then
like
now they're
10
close.
years.
But then they're going to close New Hope Road for the rest of the year.
Yeah,
that's
going
to
to be bad.
That's going to be a big deal. Yeah. How the heck how do you even get to Thornton?
Well, you got to go Twin Cities or
and the highway.
now.
Oh, okay. I guess that's not a big deal.
Yeah. But still, and then they had Twin Cities. They put that pipe in Twin Cities last year. The Twin Cities is a mess, anyways. Parts of it, and it's like,
yeah. So they opened that straight, and then there's some ceasefire, and then all of a sudden, like Israel, like started shooting missiles or something into like Lebanon. So then they're like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Well, Lebanon isn't part of our ceasefire. So what a mess. What a mess. So, anyways,
what we forgot to talk about? We forgot what we can do in this fact, but we forgot to talk about before. It's baseball season, right?
Oh yeah,
it's baseball season. So I'm going to make a prediction before we get any further in the show. I'm going to make a prediction right now. Right now.
Are you talking about Galt baseball?
No, I'm talking about professional baseball. I'm going to make a prediction that the Los Angeles Dodgers are going to be 3-time world champions after October.
Boo! Boo! Boo!
And the Giants won't make the playoffs. Oh.
Yeah.
We just lost our viewers.
Yankees and Dodgers, right? Yankees and Dodgers.
That's right. They're the two favorites. They're both looking pretty good right now, too. Barring injuries.
See, he's very clever to throw that in. Well, of course, barring injuries.
Well, the Dodgers have a deeper team, so they're okay. But
yeah. So let me get this straight. So if the Dodgers don't make it, you'll be all, oh well, that one guy, he sprained his pinky. I mean, we can't make it without him.
Mookie Betts is already out for like 10 days or something. So you gotta be careful here. You don't want to jinx the team. Mookie.
That just says it all. Leave it to LA team to have players named Mookie and things like that.
Hey, he's great.
Yeah. Oh, Debbie, speaking of Dakota.
Yeah.
Your sister Debbie from North Dakota says we're watching a lot of baseball. Oh, I'm sure your dad just is a baseball.
Loves baseball.
Oh yeah, baseball.
He'll watch games and like he's been a Giants fan his whole life, but he'll watch, the Indians versus the Twins or like whatever game is on, he'll watch it.
But he's like you could just talk about a certain game in a certain year and he'll tell you the players on the team. He's one of those guys, right?
Yeah. As a kid, we used to listen to it all the time in the truck when we go water, you change irrigation or something. He'd always have a baseball game on in the truck. That's like one of my core memories as a kid is riding with dad and listening to baseball games.
I have to say though, because I'm super cheap and I don't pay for a lot of like stuff on TV. Well, I have like Amazon and that stuff, but I never get to watch like football games and baseball games because I don't get like the regular.
They're not just over the air channels.
They're not on regular over the air channels anymore. So I tend to listen to important games, not all the time, but like the World Series or like football on the radio. I actually like listening to baseball games on the radio. I have a little AM radio that I set up, and it kind of feels like the old days where you're like, there's the pitch, and you're like listening, and it's like you have to listen to the commentator and describe what's going on, and so you're imagining the play, and it feels like the old days. It's cool.
You hear the crowd cheering in the background.
It's really cool. It's really cool. Yeah. Speaking of that, shout out to our friend Gert, who's in Texas.
Yeah.
See, go Giants and Astros. So hopefully you're having fun out there in Texas. What part of Texas are you in, Gert? Throw it up on the screen. I'm curious if it's a part of that I've been to.
The Astros are cheaters. Nobody likes the Astros. They beat the Dodgers. They cheated to beat the Dodgers. Nobody likes the Astros.
The Astros are going to win because of all the space mission stuff. This is their year.
You think so?
No.
Oh.
I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that. So speaking of that, though, other big news, the Artemis mission thing, they've already went around the moon and on their way back. For people that believe it,
right?
We're going to be talking about that in a second. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty cool that like you have this is the furthest that a human being has ever been from the planet Earth.
Yeah.
I mean, think of the thousands of years of civilization, millions, billions of people that have lived on the planet Earth and currently live, and you have 4 people that have now traveled further than anybody. That's pretty.
As far as we know.
Some
people say they've been abducted by UFOs, and who knows how far they've been. So
yeah, well, now there's a conspiracy for you, right? So speaking of conspiracies, Madison, question for you. I can see the look on your face right now. Where are you going to go with this? The original moon missions, Apollo 11, there were 6 moon missions. Happen or didn't happen? Fake or real?
Real. I love a conspiracy theory, but
you know what? That is a great point. Who doesn't love a conspiracy? I mean, conspiracies are fun. That is actually I'm glad you mentioned that.
You can go in such a deep rabbit hole and really hear all the different perspectives and the evidence and the point of views. I do have a question for you guys, though.
All right.
Given the opportunity, would you guys go to outer space for free?
I mean, obviously, who would say no to that? But my fear is, I don't know if I could do it. I mean, I don't know if I'd be too scared to like ride around. I mean, that's the you're question. Talking about like, oh, I love roller coasters. No, dude, that is like nothing like you've ever experienced. Those people are super freaking brave to be riding on a rocket. Do you know what if you look at the specs of these rockets and stuff like that, I'm going to sit on the top of this rocket that's going to put out like, millions of horsepower and propel you into even though in this day and age, we have a lot of technology and all that kinds of stuff, it is still very dangerous and very risky. I mean, anything can happen.
Absolutely. It's terrifying.
I mean, so let me ask you this. You just said you would go absolutely, but I mean, I
said I would not.
Oh, because you have a young son and you actually, by the way, not to spoil anything, but Madison is pregnant. So congratulations. We wanted to say that for you. Yeah. So,
with child. Right?
With child,
yeah. If I'm a little forgetful, it's because I have pregnancy brain. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm just because I'm pregnant.
Just disclaimers.
The real reason we had Maddie on tonight is because Dan's been having this complex about how he looks bigger than everybody we've found on the show. So we thought we'd bring a pregnant woman on. I'm just joking.
I didn't say it. I'm not the one in trouble.
I'm joking.
You
can't even tell though.
You make big babies. My son.
The real news is
you can't hit him. You can't hit
the real news is that Dan's pregnant as well. Congratulations, Dan.
I'll smack him for you.
Hit, go ahead.
All right.
I was just gonna say when you asked if I'd go to space, that they don't have enough fuel in the rocket to get me up there, so I'm not worried about it.
They don't have enough.
I'd have to have 4 of those rockets to get me up there.
We're gonna add it.
The good thing is once I get up in space, I'm weightless.
Just floating around.
Yeah, I don't weigh anything.
NASA's like, guys, we're gonna have to add a second solid rocket booster on this one.
Thank you, Debbie. That is so sweet.
No, you can't even tell, but yeah, we actually like to bring beautiful people on the show because for all you beautiful people to watch. So
right,
I do have to say, so off topic, but some people like glow when they're pregnant. I get hit with the ugly stick.
You don't have the glow?
No.
I don't have the glow. No, I get like rashes on my face. My last baby was 10 pounds 9 ounces, so I was like bigger than a house. So if you glow when you're pregnant,
only a realtor would say that. I was bigger than a house.
I know.
So back to this conspiracy thing. So here's the deal. I 100% believe in the moon mission. So if that offends any of you or you like have a problem with that, then so be it. But first of all, now that doesn't say that I don't. I mean, let's talk about like the JFK thing. I'm not going to get into that topic, but I actually do think that that's not 100% legit. Like Lee Harvey wasn't the only shooter or whatever.
Government conspiracy.
Yeah. But with that said, people, hear me out. There's a big difference between believing that the JFK assassination was a conspiracy and the moon landings were all conspiracies, because you could have like a couple gunmen, maybe you got the grassy knoll guy or somebody else, some other couple, CIA or agencies, whatever. Maybe you have a handful of people, if it was a conspiracy for JFK, that would be involved in that. But in order for the moon missions to be fake, you are talking about hundreds or maybe thousands of people, at least hundreds that are so in the know that you can't say, oh, well, they faked all the crew. They faked the launch pad crew. They deceived these people that were involved in the building of the rocket. The people really did build the rocket, but they don't know that we never sent. I mean, you can say all that, but you would have to have a minimum of probably 200 or 300 people that are in on the fake, that are in on the lie, that know about the lie, that knew it's fake, in order for them to pull that off. Do you disagree?
No, but there's people out there that deny that 9/11 happened the way it did. There's people that deny the Holocaust happened. There's people that deny, and you know what they're called?
Deniers.
Yeah.
It's spelled just like his name.
In high school, it's spelled the same as my last name. In high school, Tom Veach, my English teacher, used to call me denier all the time because that's how it was spelled. And I'd say, no, it's denier. And he's like, no, it's denier. But that's what people are called. So but it's like people have a hard time believing things that they're seeing with their own eyes. And does that mean, and I think the thing is, because there has been the question of things like the JFK that lead people to believe that the government isn't telling us everything, which they don't.
Well, and I think specifically with the JFK and with the NASA missions, right, that I think that conspiracy comes from a lack of distrust. There's a distrust in the government, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if it has to do with the government,
but is it a justified distrust? Because it has the government.
Right. I mean, if there hadn't been instances where we don't trust the government, then people wouldn't tend to distrust the government. So, but what I think is interesting about the moon missions is that. So let's talk about. First of all, this conversation came up because I cannot believe. I'm actually very surprised at how many people that I know personally say it was all faked. Like I had somebody in my coffee shop that I go, really, man? I go, let's talk. And so we were kind of talking back and forth, like why he thought that. I was trying to understand why he thought, and he brought up some things as why he believes it's fake. But I actually was surprised at just how many people thought it was fake. And so I was like, wow, that's fascinating to me that people would really. And so I started, so I went down a rabbit hole and started looking. So I've researched this like really extensively because me, I'm not the person that just believes anything. I'm like, why do people disbelieve that? So let's go look at the reasons, right? So some of the reasons were, we didn't have the technology in 1969 to get there. One person said, how can you get there on the first try? Like you guys sent a rocket to the moon, landed people on the moon and got it back on the first try with the technology from 1969. That's one of the reasons. But the truth is it wasn't the first try. It was called Apollo 11. You had Apollo 1 through 10. And Apollo 1, you had 3 astronauts that burned up in the capsule on the launch pad, right? Yeah. You had Apollo 13, famously, which they almost lost those guys and barely got them back. Tom Hanks and those other astronauts.
That was when Tom Hanks went to the
Tom Hanks and the guy from Lieutenant Dan.
That's when Tom Hanks, Lieutenant Dan, went to the moon.
And then you had Apollo. I feel like it was Apollo. Apollo 8 and 10. Apollos 8 and 10 actually flew but near the moon, kind of like Artemis did, and didn't land just to try to test if they could do it, right? So there was a huge buildup, and there was a lot of, speed bumps that they got around, deaths, astronaut deaths. So we just mentioned all that stuff. So that's one of the things. And then the other thing is, why haven't we been back? Why haven't we been back? And these are great questions. That's a great question. I would give somebody that.
This mission cost $4 billion. That might be why. I mean, the cost is, ridiculous. Part of the reason we went to the moon, though, when we did, was to beat Russia. It was the space race. Right. It was us versus Russia.
So once you win that race, do you need to? Well, we did go back 5 more times. There were 6 missions, right? So the thing is, but how come we haven't gone back in 50 years and 53 years? Well, geopolitical changes.
There was nothing there.
You had Vietnam going on, and just things change. You have different presidential administrations that just prioritize different things. Things just change, and that isn't the buzz of that thing kind of wears off.
I think the focus of NASA changed to where it became more of the space station and more of the
shuttle programs,
stuff, and less of trying to get to the moon. Now we're going to the moon because they want to make a base to go to Mars.
Right.
That's the whole. So there's a purpose behind it. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. And there wasn't a purpose.
So, but going back, people, there's a lot of reasons why people think it didn't happen. They're like, well, the Earth is flat. Just so, thank you, Matt. Oh. I did not know that. Matt.
I was going to ask you that. Have you ever had a conversation with somebody who believes that the Earth is flat?
Yeah.
I know a lot of flat earthers.
Yeah, flat earthers.
You're not one, right?
I'm not a flat earther.
Because they're crazy people.
So one of them was famously. So what I would say to you, do you think it's possible that if this was a hoax, okay, you would be talking about one of the biggest hoaxes in human history almost, right? I would see undoubtedly going to the moon, if that was a fake, total biggest hoax ever. Do you think that whether it's 20 people that were involved in the lie or 200 people like we talked about, how likely do you think it is that for 50 some odd years that nobody has came out and go, I'm dying of cancer on my deathbed and I just have to get this off my chest. I just got to clear my conscience. And here's what's fake about it. I was involved with the mission, blah, blah. And nobody, they've had YouTubers and all these scientists that have said, well, I think it's fake because I'm a scientist. And let me show you some reasons. But nobody involved with the mission directly has come out and say that.
Yeah.
And like why nobody?
And why go back now? If it was fake all those years ago, why go back now? Why even bring it back up? But, the people that work for NASA, the people that figured out, hey, this is the trajectory we need to get from here to there and the speed and all those types of things.
Yeah.
All the math that's involved in that is more than any math that all of us in this room know combined. I mean, they've got some of the brightest people working in NASA,
hundreds.
Oh, it's incredible. The smartest people in the world.
Yeah.
Before they even launched, they knew what minute they would lose.
Oh, this second of this, and this second, yeah.
Minute they would get it back. It's insane.
Yeah.
Well, and also too, people saying, oh, the photographs, the flag was waving in the wind. Well, it wasn't waving in the wind. The reason it was out is because they had not only the flagpole, there was a telescopic post on the top that went out. Here's if I had a debate with somebody who was a non-believer in the moon missions. With that said, though, I was talking to one of them the other day, and they go, "Oh no, I believe I said, "What part of it was fake?" "Oh no, I believe we went there. I believe we went there, and we put stuff on the moon, but we just didn't put people on the moon." I'm like, "Okay, so you believe the whole missions were real?" Because I was asking, was it just Apollo 11 that you feel fake, or all 6 of them were fake? Because you got 12 guys that have been on the moon, right? 12 people. So you think all those 12 people are in on this big lie, like they all lied. And they were like in a studio in somebody's basement in Hollywood with Stanley Kubrick or whatever. They were Stanley Kubrick, from 2001 Space Odyssey. He's the guy that did the whole filming and made it look real and all this kind of stuff, right? So anyway, so they no, we really went. We just didn't put people on there. So there's little bits and pieces they say are fake, not the whole thing. So what I said to this person with the debate is like, here's 2 things that I would say undoubtedly. For one, how could you get that many people that would keep a secret? I mean, you can't even keep a secret. You could tell 3 of your friends something big and they're going to leak it out. I mean, you can't. Nobody keeps secrets like that.
I do think people in the government are professional secret keepers, but
do you think that someone would say, well, they threatened all their family's lives? Like if they said, if you ever say this out loud, that you're going to threaten. But there's been people, you're telling people that they're like, well, I have no family. Like, I just don't think it's impossible somebody keep a secret. Second of all, there has been multiple missions to the moon by China, Russia, Luxembourg, India that have passed by the moon and even landed, equipment on the moon, not people, of course, and taken photographs of all 6 of the Apollo landing sites where we have leftover pieces of lunar module, the lunar rover, the little car they drove around, the footprint, all that stuff. You think you're meaning to tell me that China and India
are in on it?
would just love the chance to discredit the United States and say, look, we have photographic proof that they didn't beat us to the moon in 1969. It was all a lie. Russia would totally do that to us. But yet they showed us pictures and said, yep, they were there. I mean, come on. So I don't know. If you guys are watching, if you're not embarrassed to say, if you are a denier of the moon mission, throw it up there if you have the guts to say that you are. I would just love to see who in there would say. And look, everybody has a right to believe whatever. If you don't agree with me and you're going to say, oh, Sean was fooled by the government, NASA, he's got him, they got Sean totally fooled. Well, then I'm fooled. But I don't know. I look at facts. I look at a lot of facts, and I look at there's so much things.
This is what we would expect a government employee to say anyway. So
yeah, exactly.
You are part of the government, so I would expect you to,
But one more thought on that. You said something earlier when we started talking about this. You said that people believe. What would you say? That something about people, the way people believe in conspiracies. What'd you say? How that people believe in something they can't see with their own eyes. That's what you said, right?
Yeah. How do they not believe something that you see with your own eyes?
Right. You're saying that people don't believe the moon mission because they can't see with their own eyes, right? Well, I would give you this. Here's what I would tell you. One of the people that I know who was totally like, no, it was all fake, is very, very religious, very Christian guy, all that stuff. So let me ask you this. You know how many, and this is not an uncommon thing. I started looking at some of the other people's profiles that are there's one particular person online. I'm not going to say who they are. Big time. Like they were messaging me. Oh, it's fake. This is why it's fake, whatever. And you go on their site and it's like, all like, praise the Lord, happy Easter, he's risen, all this stuff. Right. So let me tell you this, and I'm not knocking people's religion because I actually am a believer as well. But you're going to tell me that you don't believe something that has thousands of photos, video, testimony from, thousands of scientists, whatever. But you'll believe that somebody 2,000 years ago rose from the dead, and you believe that they were the creator of it. You know what I'm saying? With no factual proof except for the Bible and your own faith. It's basically they believe that on faith, right?
Yeah.
They have faith that God exists, and they believe in that just on faith. But they won't believe. Well, you see what I'm saying? It boggles my mind that the same person could be the same thing.
No, I agree. I thought the same thing, but people have faith in
people believe a lot of things.
People have faith in religion, though, and
they do
more than they have faith in their government.
And so. I as well, and I get that, but I just think that's interesting that person would be. I would rather believe somebody who's like a total atheist that didn't believe, and then they're, you know, they question everything, right?
Well, because faith is so like, I don't want to offend anyone, but it's so like self-centered, almost like so internal that it's like trusting yourself, believing in yourself. It's so internal that they distrust everything external.
Nate Potato, one of our loyal viewers, Nate Potato says, also, all practice aside, we currently have someone who historically is really bad at keeping secrets with access to secret documents. I'm not going to dispute that, Nate. You make a great point, Nate. You make a great point.
So what else is going on around town?
All right. So we have, well, we talked about your OnlyFans account. How's that going, Dan?
It's great.
It's great.
Yeah.
He has an OnlyFans account he started. It's called, what is it called?
I don't remember now.
You don't even
something daddy.
Bald. Oh gosh.
Big bald daddy or something.
Oh my god. He doesn't even remember the names. How are you supposed to get people to go to your page?
Well, it only lasted a week.
What kind of photos were you posting?
He's joking. It's fake. It's a conspiracy. It's all fake.
It was April
We're
Fool's.
doing fake stuff now just to keep in line with the moon landing.
Last week was April Fool's Day, so I had to come up with something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have so what's going on around town? Saturday market last week was really good.
Yeah.
Right? Saturday market was good. I thought it was probably bigger than the one before. I saw we had a congressman and out there, and we had a Lodi City Council member. They were just they were actually going somewhere, and they we saw this thing was going on, so they stopped at Don Natoli was with them, and they all kind of walked around and talked to a bunch of people and took some pictures and stuff. So they were really impressed by how busy it was. Yeah. So that was good.
Matsui and yep.
What else is going on? The water slide is opening on May 24th. Our new water slide's done. And the city council was invited to all go down the slide.
Are you gonna do it?
I'm thinking about it. Yeah. I haven't been on a water slide since.
You can't let us down.
Is the pool heated?
That is a great question, because I would like to know that before I volunteer going down the slide.
Might still be a little chilly.
Yeah, that's a good point. Probably not.
Good luck.
Yeah. Dan's like, good luck. I'm not going to do it. All right. What else is so? We're going to show some flyers of some stuff going on around town real quick, and then we'll get on to Maddie here shortly. So, while we're waiting, so we have the Great Galt Community Garage Sale. This is what we're calling it, the rainy day garage sale, because the weather is supposed to be questionable. I don't want to put a downer on it, but you know what? Hey, people could still have a garage sale in their garage. They can put the stuff in their garage. You don't have to have it out in the driveway. It's not a driveway sale.
Not me. I don't have any room in my garage.
Not a yard sale, it's garage sale. Now,
good point.
Whatever works. We have a ton of people that are still holding it in their garage, or they have pop-ups. So we're excited that we still have a ton of participants.
So how many people do you have signed up?
75 signed up initially. Wow. We've probably had like 8 maybe withdraw due to weather. Totally understand. They were super bummed to withdraw. I know how that goes. But we put so much into the advertising and production that we couldn't put it off.
So what they've done is we have it up on the screen. This is a map. This is online. You can go to Parker Realty on Instagram, and you can find the map there.
GreatGaltGarageSale.com.
GreatGaltGarageSale.com.
Yep.
Super easy. You guys did put a lot of work in this.
Yeah.
And there is, as she mentioned, there's over 75 addresses on there that are people that are possibly going to have their garage sale. Now, again, we mentioned the weather could be questionable, so some of these people may not, but you can still go by, and if they don't have anything out, you go, okay, well,
but I like how it's all mapped out.
All the pins. This is awesome.
So the printed map is hard to update, but if you go to GreatGaltGarageSale.com, it's interactive. We're taking down people who aren't participating live. You can also search by category. So say you're interested in antiques, you can toggle to antiques, press search, and then it'll just show you the homes that are selling antiques.
What the heck?
And then you can map out a drive even.
Wow.
So it's really cool. We found the technology to be able to do that super last minute, which is why we have a couple different forms.
That's pretty cool though.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Next year we'll use it to its fullest capabilities, where sellers can upload photos.
So Dan's address is on there, but you're not going to do it, Dan, because of the weather.
No, I still plan to do it. I've got some stuff I can put out, whether it's rain or shine. But if it's raining,
So if you're garage sale person,
I might only be open for 2 hours.
I'm unfortunately going to miss this at least until noon, because I have to work at the shop. But after noon, I will totally be hitting some of these addresses and see what's left. I'll be looking for the table scraps.
There you go.
Yeah, at like 12:30 or 1 o'clock.
This is great though. I mean, it was hard for me to decide whether to be a seller or to be a buyer, because it's like
That's a great
I
point,
want to go.
Dan.
I love going to garage sales. So it's like on the one side of me, I really want to go to all these and see what I can find. But on the other side, it's like I've got so much stuff. I need to get rid of some stuff.
That's a great point. Because I've been the same way. I could totally have a garage sale and get rid of some stuff, which I probably will at some point this year. But I also like, so
you can save it for next year. We're hoping it's an
sell
annual
first
thing.
to make room for stuff. Then you bring
there's
stuff
a lot
home.
of, you were talking about an annual thing, Madison. There's a lot of communities that do this every year, something like this, where they organize a citywide yard sale. And I know it's big back in the Midwest and stuff a lot.
Yeah, there's a couple of neighborhoods in Lodi. One has one this weekend. Rancho Marietta does one. There's neighborhoods in Elk Grove that do them.
Rancho Marietta lets them do that. I feel like they're so strict they wouldn't let them have
on
stuff
one
like
specific day per year.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
But yeah, next year we might make it a 2-day event if that's
so. Show the second page of this. We got 2 pages of this thing.
And shout out to Park Realty because there's no like you guys are putting this all together and stuff. You didn't charge people to participate. You're not charging people to put their names or addresses on there or whatever. Like I mean, you guys have really stepped up to do a great thing. I think.
Yeah, we've always been super involved in the community. You guys know, a lot of you know my mom, Terry Parker. She's really led the way with community involvement. And we were trying to find something new where we could meet new people and just build deeper roots in the community. And this felt aligned with what we do. What?
It's funny you mentioned that, meeting new people and stuff. I actually was talking with one of my fellow youth commissioner mentors, one of the adult mentors, after a meeting on Monday night. Shout out to Aubrey if she's happens to watch our show. We were talking after the meeting a little bit, and she was saying, I first met you like at a garage sale, and I go, oh, I didn't know that. She goes, yeah, you had a garage sale a few years ago or a couple of years or something like that. And I go, huh? I remember. She goes, yeah, you had like a gaming chair or something that belonged to one of my kids, and my son really wanted it, but he didn't have enough. He just had like 5 or 10, but whatever. And she's like, you just gave it to him. You just like, oh no, wait, just take it, give it a good home. She's like, I couldn't believe you just gave it to him. And I was like, I was like, I don't remember that actually, but she's like, yeah, I remember. I just remembered that very vividly. And then we went home, and she was like, the mayor gave me a chair, because I was the mayor at the time. I was like, I don't remember that. But you're right. Garage sales is the kind of way you really connect with people. Yeah. And I've been to garage sales where people are like, hey, you're so-and-so, right? Oh yeah. And then we'll talk, and I'm like, oh, what's your name? And you go, oh, I know you. I know a family, and you know people, because it really is a small town.
It is.
And you do meet a lot of people.
Yeah. And the best realtors are the people who do the best in real estate. They don't just sell real estate. They're a resource to everyone they know. And so we try and do that for our people and be there to help them and support them. And I think this aligns with that. We're really excited.
So Debbie said, we had a citywide yard sale in Wilton for years. It may be a little different with our population only being a little over 700. Wow.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Do you like to go to yard sales when you have time?
I do. I like estate sales. So my grandfather, before he passed away, was a big estate sale guy.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I used to see him all the time.
Every Thursday.
You never saw Van Parker out. We used to bump into him a lot.
He would pull up the list. He'd pick which ones he wanted to go to.
And then he was out there with Michael all the time. Michael was his little caretaker guy, right? We would see him with Michael all the time.
Yeah. And I appreciated it then, but I would appreciate it so much more now because vintage and antiques are so much more, I don't know, valuable and trendy right now.
I have some great stuff. I'm a really antique person, especially historical stuff. And I just actually had framed a Declaration of Independence. So over the course of since the original Declaration of Independence, there's been many reprints. Some of them have been made using the original templates and stuff. Some have been done in different ways. So some of them are actually very sought after. They've done like one particular reprint in the 1800s, they did like 1,000 copies.
Oh, wow.
Another one they did like 1,500. So there's a lot of them out there, right? But I believe mine is one of those from the late 1800s, one where they did a couple thousand because of the type of paper, and I've looked at the paper, and it's like a linen type parchment that's very brittle. It's definitely not something you bought on Amazon. I mean, you can tell, and it was in an old book that I got at an estate sale. So I'd have to have a professional look at it, and maybe I find out that it's just a really good fake, but it was really cool. So I had that framed. I have that in my living room. So I love estate sales.
Yeah.
This guy, we went to a great one recently in Lodi. The guy was a restaurant owner of a really famous restaurant from Stockton, a Chinese food restaurant. Yeah. And it was their home. It was that house was huge.
That's where you got the Declaration, wasn't it?
That's where I got the Declaration. That is. Yeah, exactly.
If you go to a yard sale, and you talked about antiques, but is there anything specific? Is there that one item or those kind of category of item that you're looking for?
I'm not a collector, but I like unique things. So I usually look for home decor because I never finish decorating my house.
Yeah.
And so I just look for things that are like you can't buy at a store, like things that are different. And that's changed a lot as I've gotten older. I used to just, like the modern new stuff. But yeah, the uniques, the vintage, the antiques, that's kind of what I'm into. Rosa's here in town. What's her store called?
The antique store
on
the
C
antique
Street.
store,
Yeah.
C Street. She has some good stuff. I love going there. Wooden stuff, like kids' toys.
Yeah, she's got great stuff.
Dan has found. I mean, we don't even have enough time to talk about some of the cool stuff you found at estate sales. Dan's found a lot of stuff, and I have too. I was trying to think of one of the best items I've ever found at an estate sale. Just trying to think in my head real quick. But lots of cool stuff, really cool stuff. My dad used to find some great
We go to
stuff.
breakfast a lot on Sundays, and so after breakfast, a lot of times driving back, we'd always, if we see a sale, we'd stop. And Sunday estate sales are usually 50% off.
Yeah.
So that was the time to kind of go in and see what's
So
left.
you're not getting like the cool,
you're not getting the prime stuff, but you're getting, but still there's really good deals to be had on Sunday.
Real wood
Estate
furniture,
sales.
I would say, is something
Yeah.
I like. to
Oh,
look
they
at
had some
too.
phenomenal furniture at that one estate sale. Remember the estate sale? Did you go to the
I
one
know
we
which
went to
one
in
you're talking
Rivergate? So Rivergate and Lodi, real high end. They had an estate
Fancy.
sale over there. They had some beautiful furniture. Like I would love to have that, but where would I put that in my house? I don't have a spot for it.
Yeah.
Beautiful furniture. And it was actually priced to sell on the second day. It was crazy. Yeah.
And as a realtor, when you're selling a home, especially if it's a home maybe that the person's passed or somebody else has inherited, like, do you work with a lot of estate sale companies to try to liquidate some of the stuff? Or
I do. Yeah, I refer out to a couple of estate sale companies. It's so hard. The thing in real estate is you refer someone to a client, and then that client has a bad experience, and you're like, do I continue to refer? Was that a one-off experience?
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of my clients do estate sales, garage sales,
Yeah.
because when you're selling a house, you got to get rid of anything.
well, because the key
Everything
is to
inside.
minimize, right? If you're going to sell a
Yeah.
house, you want as little stuff in the house to show,
Right. You don't want to
because you
clutter
want the house to look bigger,
Yeah.
right?
And you
Clutter
want it,
just makes everything look smaller.
yeah, and you want it to have no personality and look like a blank slate.
You know what? That is an interesting thing because you guys actually, you and your husband sold our house. About 6 years ago now? Yeah, about 6 years ago. Yeah, in 2020.
Can't believe it's been that long.
I know, right? So I found it interesting that like it is a common thing that realtors say you want the house to be very vanilla and generic. Like you don't want to have, they say, don't put family photos up. Don't have that kind of stuff because you want the people to envision their own stuff in there. They want to look at a room almost like you want to make it like a model home you don't have. But what's weird to me is, and I don't disagree, you guys are experts, but I find that fascinating because I think if you go into it, when I go into an old home, if I went into an old home and I saw family photos, whatever, it would feel like it would feel so much. So it would touch me in a certain way. It's like, look at this was someone's home. Look how this could be our home too. I feel like those pictures and stuff actually make it feel more like a home. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird though?
Interesting you say that because, and this leads into our conversation we'll talk about in a little bit. There are some people who just cannot wrap their head around the idea of living in someone else's house. It feels dirty. It feels.
I get that. That makes sense. That makes sense.
But then there are some situations and some outliers where you need to have personality and staging and personality.
Debbie says you would focus on the stuff and not the home. That's probably a good, doesn't your sister sell real estate?
She does real estate.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go.
But I think that the other part of it though, like you're talking about, if you take everything out of it and you make it generic kind of, then it's almost sterile. And to me,
I think it's a balance.
Yeah. I mean, where's the personality of the home? Because I think homes have personalities.
And that depends. So I have a listing right now on 4th Street in Old Town that had, or 3rd Street, sorry, in Old Town that has a ton of personality. And we want to accentuate that and sell that because it's a unique home.
Yeah.
But Galt has a lot of track homes, and that track home attracts a certain buyer that wants, a blank slate.
So when you sold our house, I know, like, especially on our stairway going upstairs and stuff, we had all our family pictures on the wall. We didn't take all those down. I mean, we did remove some items and kind of, we had some antiques and stuff I left in place and stuff like that. But you also don't want to make it very niche. Like my first house I sold, we had one of our rooms that was very specifically just decorated, right? Very specific. And it wasn't really everybody's thing. Like, we actually think we probably turned off a couple buyers because of the way it was decorated specifically. And so I think, you do want to be kind of very vanilla. You want to broaden the range of people that might want to buy your home with your decor, right?
Of course.
Do you guys ever I know this is probably, I already know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask you because this I don't think was the thing back in the day, but I think it very much is nowadays. A lot of realtors actually help stage houses, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's interesting to me.
So we include that in our listing package. A lot of agents do that. Some don't. Some of the sellers pay it, but it is the most valuable tool and home value.
So people that really focus on doing that, I mean, do you have like just a whole storage unit of like stuff that you deploy and bring in to stage people's houses with?
Some do, yes.
Furniture, really?
Deb and I personally outsource that, so we just pay someone to do it on our listings.
So you pay people that do it.
It's a business,
and it's expensive. It's
you know what, that I knew that, but that's a good. Yeah, that's interesting.
Just people, that's all they do, right?
But
they're the ones that have the storage units full of couches and chairs and.
Yeah. You know, it'd be fun being in that business and going out searching for things that you have an eye for. Like, that's a great piece, and getting like the bargains.
You know what wouldn't be fun in that business is actually moving the furniture in and out.
Oh yeah. Well, you just hire a bunch of young, strong people, and you just.
Yeah.
But I like going into people's houses when there's for sale because I want to see what kind of stuff they have. It's the same reason we go into estate sales. I want to see, this person was into books or this person was into,
Yeah. So clocks. Yeah, I forgot we still had some up on the screen, and we were the tiny box for a little while talking. But let's throw the next flyer up, folks. So we have the cow plot bingo. Wouldn't be Galt without the cow plot bingo. So I did ask them, are they really going to have a Highland cow? And the answer is yes.
A mini or a mini.
They're going to have a mini Highland cow.
Good.
And he's going to basically walk around and he's going to poop what looks like little rabbit pebbles because he's a tiny cow. Just joking. So I bought a square. I got one already.
So did I.
Yeah.
We got suckered into it at the same time.
Oh,
I need to get a couple. Right. I need somebody to.
Well, we'll
have
one.
Becky call
the chamber.
you,
there's people that are selling them, so you can whatever. So the Chamber of Commerce and Becky and Ron Speed Real Estate, one of our other local real estate people, are doing this, and it's a really cool. It sounds really fun. I think it's going to be a good time. So if you're interested in buying a spot for the cow plot bingo, and you want to just go check out the baby Highland cow and take selfies with the cow.
Is it raising money for anything, or is it? Do we know?
Just for the chamber, I think.
It's just for the chamber. Yeah.
For the chamber.
So somebody asked me how much are the spots. Well, I did find out. I did reach out and found out that the spots are $100 a ticket, but the spots are up to $4,000. So you can win up to $4,000.
Ooh.
Yeah. So if you get a $50 ticket, you could win up to $2,000. So they have $50 tickets. Potentially you can win $2,000, or you get a $100 ticket, you can win up to $4,000.
I need 4 tickets, right? Let's see.
Yeah.
And it's like a football pool. It's like 10 by 10, I think. You buy a square. Yeah. Yep. And I believe the event is free to attend for the public. And then you can like place wagers when you're there, and they'll have food and beverage vendors there you can purchase.
Yeah.
Should be fun.
So I want to mention something. Well, I'll mention it once we pull the flyers down. Something important. Somebody just sent me a message. Let's go to the next flyer here. So then we have the Taco de Mayo, which I mentioned. We will be giving tickets out to Taco de Mayo later in the show. We will be not raffling. We'll be giving these out on a trivia question. So this is at the Littleton Center on the 2nd of May from 5 to 9. This is a big event. The Galt Sunrise Rotary does this every year. Tickets are $20. I mean, it's super. $20 is nothing. I mean, $20, you can eat tacos. They're gonna have music there. They can have margaritas. I mean, I can just stop at margaritas. So, you can just go. I mean, it's a great time. So you can scan the QR. There's PayPal, or you can go to Galt Sunrise Rotary. This is all over social media. It's on the chamber social media, on Instagram, all that. You can find it, or you can message us, and I can send you information if you can't find it anywhere else. So next flyer is going to be that's it. Okay. So what I want to mention, the Galt Teen Center. So one of the person who's been a big spearheading the Galt Teen Center has been Sarah McFadden. Her and her family are moving to Spain, actually. So she sent me a message and said the Teen Center is in danger of closing down after she moves because they have a lack of people that are willing to help out with the Teen Center. So she asked if we would be willing to have one of our members or volunteers on the podcast to talk about it. I told her absolutely, we'd love that. So we'll get with her as soon as possible to schedule somebody on. But also, they want us to really pump. Somebody wants to be. What they're looking for is they're looking for someone who could just volunteer like one evening, 1 month, like just one particular. Like I can volunteer on the first Thursday or usually Friday. It's usually a Friday or Saturday night. The first one, a second one, just once a month. They just want an adult to be a chaperone there at the Teen Center so it can be open and the teens can hang out. The Teen Center is really cool. It's right there on C Street under the water tower. and they have all kinds of games and stuff going on there, and the teens hang out. But because they're lacking in volunteers to help be there when it's open, they're struggling right now. And that's a sad, because they worked super hard to get that thing open, and it's been a great asset to the community. Right. So if you are watching this and you are interested in being a chaperone for one of the nights at the Galt Teen Center, it's usually 3 or 4 hours, I think. Just one day a month is all you need to do. Please contact me and I can put you in touch with someone. And
that'd be a good thing for a retired person.
It would be
if I knew one.
And it's fun. I went over there and I played. They have a pool table, so I played pool with some of the kids. I haven't been there in a while. I'm not gonna lie. I've been meaning to get back.
Video gaming systems.
They got lots of stuff. So I need to get back over there.
They got like a basketball hoop, I think, set up outside. And
yeah. So
if only I knew a retired person.
We're gonna start sharing some stuff about the Teen Center on our social media too, and get the word out. So please help us spread the word, people. Danny should volunteer. That's what your sister said.
Oh.
Maybe Dan and I should both volunteer one night on behalf of the podcast. We should go over there and hang out.
There we go.
Why don't we do that?
I do it.
You should interview some of the kids for a podcast. How funny would
that
that
is
be?
great. Yeah. We should interview them at the Teen Center, like we've always talked about doing. We should do that. That's a good idea. We're going to do that. But we're going to have somebody on from the Teen Center on to interview them. So what else is going on? We had a city council meeting Tuesday night. Nothing really per se special to talk about. Rather light agenda. But they did have, they wanted to appoint somebody to a new homeless board that's being shaped. They were looking to me to kind of do it because I was the one that attended the big summit thing. But they didn't know when the meetings were going to be, how often they're going to meet, or when the first meeting was going to be. And we're like, well, you don't have any information for us. So we literally tabled the item until we can get that information. So we didn't appoint somebody to that. But I don't know. I'm skeptical that it's going to do anything. I think it's just Sacramento looking to, check a box and say, oh, we're going to do more on this particular topic. We're going to form this board. So what it's going to do is they're going to take a city council member from each city in Sacramento County. So there'll be one from Galt, one from Rancho Cordova, one from Folsom, so on and so forth. There'll be 2 from Sacramento. And then they're going to put elected boards on there, like county supervisor will be on there, so on and so forth. And it will be, how do I phrase this?
Busy work.
An advisory committee of advising what needs to change. What is the state or the county doing now that's not working, and how can we advise them make a change? But they're not obligated to follow it. So we don't set policy. We're just simply advising.
They're checking a box.
My problem is with it. Are you listening to this, Dan? Because I want your input on this. My problem with it is the lead agency that's been in charge, the lead organization per se, that's been in charge with implementing whatever policy and has been given all the money so far to make change, which hasn't happened. I mean, there's no change, like nothing's changing. So that agency is still going to be the lead agency and all that.
Who is it?
It's called, I forget the name. I don't want to bash them publicly on our show, but I'll mention it in a future episode. But so I just have a problem with that, because when we had that summit in Sacramento, I said, well, you have for like something like 10 years, this has been the lead agency, but yet the homeless problem has gotten worse based on the numbers. So you're going to leave that person as the primary person who gets the money, the funding, and they're the one that I just have a problem with that. I just don't think that's so. I don't know. What do you think, Dan? Do you think this is a good you think it's a step in the right direction, or you think it's just going to be
probably just a lot of talk?
The same, a lot of talk.
Probably just a lot of talk.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to be optimistic about it.
Government throws money at the wall and hopes that something will stick, and 99% of it slides down into their pockets. And
I mean, the numbers that they gave us that had been spent on Sacramento County for homeless, and then based on the number of how many that they have identified as being homeless, like that number could be off some, right? But they've identified X amount of people as being homeless, like 2,300 or something like that in Sac County. And then the amount of money that's been spent, it equates to something like $60,000 or $70,000 per homeless person. So you've spent that much money per identified homeless person, but yet you haven't reduced the number of people you haven't housed those people. Like what'd you do?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways. So the Youth Commission. So I wanted that they are looking, we're going to show a flyer on the screen. The Youth Commission is taking applications, and they only have a few applications. And so we really are in need for more applicants. This is a picture of our current Youth Commission. These are high schoolers from Liberty Ranch, Galt High School.
They turn over every year, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
yes.
Like, if one of them is a junior, they can do it a couple years, but for the most part, a lot of these kids are seniors probably, or and they turn over.
So if you have a young teen would like to join an organization, we only meet once a month, but we're very involved in the community. They go out to the Galt market. They actually fundraise. They're involved in like the Old Town Trunk or Treat. We are involved in the Galt parades. We hand out candy. They also give out scholarships. So they fundraise. So the Galt Youth Commission fundraises, and then they take that money and we give out scholarships. We gave out 6 scholarships this year, 6 $500 scholarships to students. So they're very involved. These kids are go-getters.
Yeah. And some of what they discuss at these commissions then goes to help the city council make decisions based on what their opinions are at these meetings.
Exactly. So the Galt Youth Commission reports to the city council. So once in a while, we'll have one of our member of the Galt Youth. There's adult mentors that serve. I'm one of those. I'm actually the council appointee. So I was a council member appointed, but we have actually 4 mentors. Shout out to Camille Van Wormerdam, who is one of our mentors. And then we have Aubrey, and we have Sharon, and we have Talon, and we have Jessica. And so they've all volunteered their time to help to be a mentor with the Galt Youth Commission. And they all bring something very valuable to this group. Shout out to all the adult mentors. Thank you so much for your time volunteering. So if you have a teen who would like to be interested in joining the Galt Youth Commission, applications are on the City of Galt's webpage. Contact me if you can't find it. I will send you an application or steer you to where it's at on the webpage. We have I think 10 days or 14 days left for applicants. This looks great. Yes, this looks great on college applications too, because this is kind of a leadership type thing. So contact us if you know somebody interested. We need to get some people on there to fill those spots.
We're going to talk houses now.
Oh, you want me to mention the thing about the branding?
Do that next week.
Okay.
I don't want to get too late.
We're still got 40 minutes.
I know, but I think this is going to take up quite a.
Well, let me just pose the question to these people, and then we can let people comment. Okay. So we had a question to the youth commissioners that was involved with the city's branding campaign that we talked about a few weeks ago. So I want our viewers that are watching the show, I want you to put your answers up on the screen of what your answer would be to this question. We asked the kids from the youth commission, if Galt was a person, describe them to us. Would they be a male? Would they be a female? How old would they be? What would be some of their characteristics? How would they dress? Paint us a picture of if you've envisioned Galt as a person. Describe that person to us. Throw those up in the chat, and we'll get back.
I want Maddie's answer.
I don't want to gas you up, but when I think Galt, I think Sean Farmer.
Oh, well, thank you for
being honest.
Well, one of the answers was a middle-aged male, so I do fit the middle-aged male.
Dev and I talk about it all the time. It's come up in several conversations. We're like, when we think Galt, we think Sean.
Oh, well, that's sweet, but I actually think this is what I think. So I was asked the same question.
So you think a balding 50-something-year-old male? That's what you.
I don't want to get too much in the weeds of it, but yeah, just your personality, your interests, your lifestyle feels very genuine.
My lifestyle,
but it was interesting. I think
I actually don't agree with you. I think Galt's more. When I think of Galt, I think more like. I mean, my family history, has ag. I think ag. I picture I do picture a male. And it's interesting because some people have said, "Oh, it's a female, it's a male." That's what we're looking for, is to see what people say. I picture a middle-aged male, late 40s, early 50s, family man, got a couple kids. One kid's in FFA. Kids are definitely in sports for sure. Big sport,
Galt
maybe
was a
football.
person.
If Galt was a person, this would be the person. Probably. Came from an ag family, or maybe likes to go to fundraisers at the Littleton Center, the crab feeds, or the whatever.
There's one every Saturday.
That's who I picture the person of Galt being.
He's the guy that works the football games and moves the little flags.
Yeah. Or on the other side could be, woman, middle-aged woman, families, she likes to volunteer in the community. She's very active in her kids' sports. She helps out with the kids' sports. This is what I picture Galt as. I picture that's what I picture.
I'd be curious, anybody watching, if Galt was
the memes coming.
If Galt was a person, what do you think of? What's the image in your head when you first think of that? What's the image? I think that's interesting.
Well, so
and you know what I would say? I would say that it's a mother, and I think it's because I associate Galt with being home.
Okay,
it's my home. It's where I was raised. And so I would associate it with my mom. And so for me, when I think of if Galt was a person, it would probably be someone similar to my mom.
So out of the 12 youth commissioners that we asked, these are all teens, mind you, right? And male and female teens. 11 of them said that Galt was a 50-ish year old, 60-year-old man. And then they mentioned he's old fashioned. So they had some traits, but the fact that 11 of the teens identified it as, one of the commissioners said, no, it's a female teenager.
I thought that was an interesting
But they
answer.
said, but she's a shy teenager and she grew up on a dairy.
So still aggravated.
Still
aggravated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, very interesting
Farmer guy.
answers, but I love to see what I'm seeing on the screen. So
To me, Galt feels very loyal, very friendly, not very traditional, but moderately traditional.
So here's the question. Here's the one word answer. So I then asked the kids, give me one word that describes Galt. After they told me who they described as what Galt would look like, in one word, we went around the room and said, just name one word that you think of when you think of Galt. And these are what they said: homey, humble, which is interesting, old fashioned, small, traditional, quaint, little, hospitable. I'm not sure what that one, but hospitable. Farm was a word, and then little. Those are the words I got.
Interesting.
So interesting words coming from teenagers, right?
Yeah.
Coming from teenagers. I don't know. I think it's interesting.
So
You know what I find interesting? Someone was talking about this on People of Galt, their friendly neighborhood Galt, or one of the Facebook groups recently. Someone was complaining that we don't have enough like big box stores or entertainment here in town, but then those are also the same people who are complaining about the growth and the new housing, and it's like it's one or the other.
This is a whole conversation Dan and I had in the last show, and you're right. What the point we arrived at was we thought it was fascinating that if you were to be in an airport somewhere and you're like, oh hi, where are you traveling to? Oh, where are you from? Oh, I'm from this place called Galt, California. Galt, well, where is that at? Oh, it's in Northern California. Oh, tell me about Galt. I bet you that 99% of people of Galt, if they were somewhere in an airport and they had to tell a stranger about their town, in that description of their town, they would use the word little or small somewhere in that description.
Absolutely.
But yet everybody says that Galt's not a small town anymore. We've gotten so big, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I bet you they would still use that in their description of the town.
You're right. I think you're right.
Anyway, so let's talk houses. But before we do that, shout out to our sponsors. Obviously, Parker Realty is one of our sponsors, so thank you. So our sponsors are going to be, that was my wrong button there. That's the wrong button. Here's the right button. Sorry, I got prego brain.
I'm wearing off on you.
So Galt Chamber of Commerce, Velvet Grill and Creamery, Chandler Growth Group, Frontier Performance Lubricants, River Rock Brewery, Casey Boyd Insurance, NorCal Spreading, Azevedo Quality Harvesting, and Mr. Sean Farrell. We'll mention the other half of the sponsors a little bit later, but thank you to those people. Those are all small businesses. Those are all mom and pop businesses. Every person on our sponsor list is a mom and pop business. And they all dedicate their time to supporting our show with money and support. And we thank all of them. Thank you so much.
That is what Galt's all about.
Right.
100%.
Supporting their people.
100%.
Exactly. Yep.
So tell us about some houses. So reintroduce again, Madison Delbrug. So you and your husband, Devin, are kind of like you know, you guys remind me of, you remind me of that young couple that did all the TV shows where you're like, they flip houses or whatever. That's who you guys remind me of. Now, I'm not to say that you're the only husband and wife team out there, but there is a lot of female realtors in Galt. I'm telling you, y'all you got the market cornered. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I told you guys this today. You remember when you think back in the older days of all the realtors that used to be, even the ones from O'Hara and Parker, when we used to have just a handful of realty, there was a lot of male realtors.
Well,
and I think it's weird that number has dwindled. It's predominantly
Realty.
a female-driven industry now.
It really is. There's still a lot of men in the industry.
No, there is. But in Galt per se,
not many.
Parker Realty was started by
Van Parker. Well, with my mom, but
right,
yes.
right,
yeah.
And he got his start working for Eric Spees,
Eric
right?
Spees.
And Eric was the big realtor in town for a long time.
See, the big realtors in town back in the day were all men.
Yeah.
Like they were the movers and shakers and whatever. And then you had like, you went into like like name some of the guys that have come through Parker when you were a child and before you were actually grown up that were through there. Like there was like there was Wilburn, right?
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Oh, really?
Brian Gideon, Rick Green was
Rick
there.
Green.
Oh, those are
recently.
younger guys.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the older ones than that.
Oh, I don't know. Harry Ashwan
There you
didn't
go.
work
Yeah.
for us, but used to sell
so
in town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got the Clackenbergs, I think I'm saying, from O'Hara. So they've been around for a long time. There is a lot of.
And there's going to be a fourth generation of Parkers.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah. This is the first time we've ever had 4 people in the studio at one time.
Is it ridiculous?
Hey,
Caitlin is here, just so everyone knows.
I meant in frame of the camera. So before we get off on top, so do you know if it's a boy or a girl?
I do. Yes, it's a boy.
Oh, okay.
So
and you have a boy already.
I have a boy.
Dawson.
So yep.
Daniel's a great name for a little brother.
That's
No.
Dawson's middle name.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
Fantastic name.
yeah.
Oh my god.
So we already have a name in mind, but maybe I won't say it.
Okay,
because
you don't have to say
A few
it.
people in my family don't love the name, and they've told me that.
Oh,
So,
now you have not see. See, now you have to say it. Is it not public information? Have you not been telling people?
close friends and family.
So you
we'll keep some sort of surprise. So
Okay.
follow me on Instagram. Then
there you go. Okay, so
you
you
can see
you don't want to say it out loud because it's not 100%. You might change it.
It's pretty close to 100%. But
pretty
yeah,
close.
we have to leave a little element of surprise.
Okay, sure. Yeah, there's mystery. So yeah, we'll have to break that when it's time to break the name. Be sure to let us know when it's fair game and we can put it on our show.
Okay.
Even if you're not here, we'll say it. Yeah, Harrison's good. You know what I do like with kids' names, and I know we got to get back on our main topic, but I like all the classic names that people are using now. People are using
Me too.
like we have like some of my wife's family. They have daughters named Claire and Lucy, and then Henry. So actually 3 of their kids.
Theodore, William.
Yeah, there's a resurgence with classic names that are being brought back, and I think that's cool. I like that.
Charlotte is common again. Yeah.
Really?
Mhm.
Interesting. So if it had been a girl, let me ask you this. If it had been a girl, was there a name that you kind of had in mind if it was a girl? You had to have been thinking about that.
There were a few names that I liked. I really liked Nora, which is kind of traditional. Amelia.
I like Amelia. We have one of Heather's. We have family with Amelia too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were probably our 2 front runners.
Amelia's
for girls.
I like that name.
Nora's a name you don't hear often though. That's
No.
Yeah.
that's
Isn't it
pretty
cute?
unique.
You know
Yeah,
what's a classic
yeah.
name that you won't see come back into style again? That was like from my grandmother's, like Clara was my grandmother's name. But some of the names you probably won't see resurgence is my other grandma's name is Gladys. You're probably not going to see Gladys come back into style, right? Or Gertrude. Probably
yeah.
not. Probably not those.
My niece, her 2 kids are Hazel and Harrison.
Beautiful.
Hazel's after my grandmother, and then Harrison is my dad's name is Harry, so she named Harrison after
That's
my
cool.
dad.
I love
so,
those names.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a ferret.
Hazel's my
We had
grandmother,
a
my mom
ferret
loved
named
that.
Hazel.
Like great.
I had a ferret
You
named
had a
Hazel.
ferret named Hazel.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, she was a female
she.
ferret. She used to like to ride around on the Roomba. We had one of those Roomba vacuums, and she would just sit on it and ride around. Yeah,
That's
remember?
hilarious.
It was so funny.
I'm sure you have a video.
I have
You'll have
photos.
to
We
show
have
me.
videos.
Yeah.
I have video. I'll show you sometime. All right, so let's talk houses for real this time. So we have some subdivisions being built in Galt, and the models are up. They're actually been selling some. They're kind of all over the place. We're gonna pull up a map in a moment, not just yet. We'll pull up a map here soon, and we'll kind of show as we start talking about these where they're located in Galt. But you're gonna give us some information about some of these. So start us off. What?
Just a general overview.
Just just go start with whatever you want.
Okay. Tons of communities here in Galt. They're all different. Of course, there's similarities across them. New houses range right now from about 500,000, 508,000, all the way up to the low 800s.
So can you actually
Wow.
buy? So you can actually buy a new house in Galt that's brand new that no one's ever lived in for 500,000.
508,000. Yep.
Really?
That's the starting price.
Which one is that?
That is at
The ones over behind the new grocery outlet, or the
Greenwood.
No, it's actually the Blue Mountain communities on the corner of
No.
Carilion and
and
Walnut.
oh yeah.
Parliament Oaks.
So the
Parliament
small,
Oaks.
it's the small ones though, obviously, because for that price.
1,300 square feet though.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, they're the little 2-story ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's Parliament Oaks. That's right across from Community Park on that corner.
Up to 1,500 square feet, it looks like.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you wanted a new, so I guess it'd be fair to say if you wanted a new home, the cheapest new home that you could possibly get into that's brand new in Galt would be those.
There's actually one, sorry, I haven't been to this community in a while. There's one in the Lennar behind the new grocery outlet at the Towns for $460.
So for $460, those are the ones right behind the old CVS store that's going to become the grocery outlet very soon. It's the ones that are, they look like almost like townhomes, but they're stacked in really close to each other. Dan and I went over there. I mean, there's very unique features about that. I mean, it's not going to be for everybody for sure.
Definitely.
But they have sold a lot of them.
Yeah. I've had clients that have purchased them and, are really attracted to the low maintenance living. No.
When you say I like,
don't like yards.
I like how you put the low maintenance means no yards. Yeah.
But some people like that. Some people don't want to mow a yard or
have to deal with stucco or have to deal with fixing roofs. Yeah. That's an advantage to a lot of people.
I have come to learn that even though I would be like, I would never live in such and such a house that blah, blah, blah. There is a house for everyone and things are shifting. People like me in their early 50s are not the home buyers that are out there. I mean, young people, your generation, Maddie, and even younger than you are the people buying, and their tastes are different than people like Dan and I. Yeah. And a lot of people in
Madison, if a person comes to you and says, "Hey, we want your help buying," or we're going to buy a house. We're looking to buy a house, and we want to buy a new house. And is that something you talk to first and say, "Okay, what are you kind of looking at? Do you want a house with a home? Do you not want a house or with a yard?"
Yeah.
I mean, how important is do you have like a list of things and how important it is? And
so anytime someone comes to us and is like, "Hey, I want to invest in real estate. I want to become a homeowner," we always try and have a what we call a buyer's consultation, where maybe we go to coffee, go to lunch, and kind of chat about what they're looking for and what their goals are. And everyone's different. Like you said, some people want a backyard, some people want low maintenance. Everyone shares, the desire to.
So you're one, you're on the younger generation of realtors, right? Yeah. I mean, like you said, your grandfather was in it, your mother was in it. So you're like a third generation realtor in Galt, right? As a younger person who hasn't been in real estate for 25 years, right? It's been a shorter time span for you. Do you see it becoming more prevalent that when you do these buyer consultations with people, that more people are saying they don't want a yard and stuff? Is that more common than it used to be, you think?
It's probably more common than it used to be, but I find that people that hire me as their realtor are pretty traditional. They want the bigger yards. They want to put in a pool.
So people that are moving to Galt or people that live in Galt still are, for the most part, still looking for the traditional house per se that like in the suburban house in the suburbia, where they want to have the yard for entertaining and they want to have a place for the kids to play. So you're still seeing a lot of that.
Yeah, that's the majority of my clientele. Occasionally we do get people who find us online from out of the area that call us to help them and then are interested in these townhouse style or lack of backyard style homes. But
so would it be fair to say that the majority of your buyers for the non-traditional style houses that Galt people, when I say non-traditional, I mean the houses that Galt people aren't used to seeing, the townhome style, because those are obviously the new things that people get all up and, oh, what are they building? That's the stupidest house ever. Never buy one of those. You see a lot of that on the neighborhood groups on Facebook and such. So it'd be fair to say that probably the majority of your buyers of those style of houses are probably transplants, right?
Yeah, that's what I found.
Yeah.
Do you think the builders today are building homes that people actually want, or do you think they're building homes because people need a home? Because I mean, there's this whole idea of there's not enough housing in California, and so are they really building? Like, I think the homes they used to build, to me, were homes that people wanted to buy, wanted to live in this community, and I think now it feels like the builders are building homes because people have to have a place to live.
They're experts at riding that fine line because they want to maximize their profit.
Yeah.
And they want to sell something or build something that's going to sell. But if builders in Galt wanted to build something that people wanted to buy, they'd build all of our communities like the baseball streets, single story homes, wide streets, big lots. But because they're so pinched on their budgets or because they need such a big
margins
profit, they build up, and then there's 2 stories and the lots get smaller.
But I think that too, and I always say, look, when I've said this many times in city council meetings, I'm like, look, I don't think I like what you're building, but look, you guys are the ones that are investing millions and millions of dollars building a house. So if you're going to build something that's not going to sell, that's going to be on you. So, and I've been proven wrong many times where I'm like, I don't think those are going to be popular, and they've still sold, right? So I think that when you say, Dan, are they building the houses that people want or houses that people need? I think you're probably a little of both. But I do think that most people are not going to buy a house that they don't like. So let me ask you this, Maddie. Do you show a lot of houses to people where people go and go, let's go ahead and make an offer. This is not really the house that I like, but let's go ahead and make our offer anyways. I mean, that doesn't happen, right?
It depends on the market. The market now where renting is cheaper than buying, we see that a lot less often. Buyers are picky. They want to love the home. If they're, purchasing a home where their payment's going to be $4,000 or $5,000 a month, they've got to love it.
That's crazy.
And
wow.
And that's why the market's moving a little slower, just because payments are higher, buyers are pickier.
Yeah, you're young, but for me, as someone like Dan and I, the highest mortgage that I ever had was like $1,600. I mean, my first mortgage on my house on Clover Court, I don't know if you know where Clover is. So that was our first house. Our house payment on that house with taxes, insurance, and everything compounded was $395 a month.
What was the interest rate at the time?
7 3/4. Wasn't even that great of a rate.
I was going to say, wasn't even that bad.
That was the rate at the time.
Yeah.
That was a good rate at that time.
If your house payment is $4,000 or $5,000 a month, do you think you're seeing more generational people living together?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, and so as you're selling these homes, you're seeing,
pulling their money.
We need a house that's big enough for mom and dad to live there, grandma and grandpa to live there,
Yeah, because they need mom and dad's social security checks to help.
But that's exactly that's what I'm saying, is that you, instead of needing 2 incomes, you almost need three or four incomes in order to buy these homes now.
Yeah, see, Nate Potato said my mortgage is $2,700, and you know what? That's on the cheaper side. But there was a time where I knew people. We'd be like, "Oh, did you see such and such just bought that house? Their house payment is like $2,500 a month." We're like, "Holy cow!" Like, how we were just blown away by that kind of stuff. That was astronomical.
When Dev and I bought our first house, our mortgage payment was $1,700 a month, and that wasn't too long ago. That was in 2017.
Okay, so it's 10 years ago, 9 years ago.
Oh my gosh, it's longer than I thought.
Yeah.
But that same house now, our payment with the same amount down would be so much more. But
yeah.
So do you as a realtor, do you monitor the interest rates kind of like on a daily basis type thing, or?
I keep an eye on them. Yeah, I know.
What are we at right about now is?
Probably between like 6 and a quarter.
6 and a quarter.
Yeah.
And so some of these new homes being built, though, some of these builders on these new homes are offering incentives for the interest rates, or?
Yeah. So if you want to just jump into it, one big
we bounce all around, so we don't have to go in any certain order.
Okay, good. One distinguishing factor between new construction and resale is that new construction typically has a lot higher taxes. And by a lot higher, I mean
taxes mean property tax and
property
all the
taxes.
stuff attached. Yes.
Yeah. And I mean, it could be the difference between a $600,000 resale house and a $600,000 new construction house. The tax difference could be $400 a month. Difference a month.
Even though what you're so, let me explain this to people that are watching. You're saying, so if you buy an existing home in an older neighborhood that's $600,000, or you buy a brand new house that's $600,000, they're saying, well, the taxes are the same. It's like 1.1 ish, right? 1. So you're paying, you're going to pay property tax on the purchase price. So you're saying, well, why is it not the same? But the newer homes have things on them like Melrose. They have the CFD, which is the city's facilities districts, like lighting and landscape districts, more or less. You have infrastructure bonds on some. One of the big projects in Galt has that. That's what you're talking about, right? So they can vary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is probably the biggest distinguishing factor between people who buy new construction or not. Some people are very against Melrose out of principle.
Oh, I mean, who would not be against paying a bunch of extra money that never goes away? I mean, no matter what your mortgage is, even if you paid off half your mortgage or you refinanced or whatever and lowered your thing, that's still going to stay the same.
But some people in a market like this who need a really large credit, maybe they don't have enough money for their down payment and their closing costs. Maybe they have to go new construction because they need $20,000 back, and a seller doesn't want to spend $20,000 out of their profit.
Right.
So they have to go new construction. It could be the difference between purchasing and not.
It's kind of like buying a car. I mean, when you go to buy it, you can buy a new car. Typically, when you buy a new car, you get like better rates. They give you a better rate. The dealership gives you a better rate because the banks feel better about loaning money, and the banks will typically give a better rate on a new car, even though the new car could cost more than the used car. Used cars typically be higher interest rates. You're not getting as many things. So as far as all the goodies and things you're getting, a new house is probably going to come with more things. And you have some of these projects that are doing buy downs, right?
Yeah. So for a while, some of the communities were doing a 4.99 fixed rate interest rate for 30 years, which was super incredible. Even at one point, it was 3.99.
Wow.
Even though interest rates are at 6.25.
When they were 3.99, they were a little lower. Rates were probably like 5.5. But those same builders right now are still offering 4.99% sometimes, which makes a big difference and does offset the increased taxes. So it's kind of a
they almost have to do it to try to offset, to make it work, right? To make it pencil. So people are willing. So the question is, who's willing to pay, $1,000 extra on top of your mortgage just for taxes and infrastructure bond, Melrose, and like that? Because that's what it could be, and maybe even a little more in some cases. Who would be willing to do that? Well, they do it because they're getting such a great rate, so it ends up being a wash that kind of offsets that, right?
Correct. And also keep in mind, these new homes are so much more efficient. Your utility bills are lower.
I was going to ask you that. Yeah.
You have a brand new roof that shouldn't need to be replaced for 30 plus years. You have a new AC. You have a new water heater. So your maintenance expenses. So
let's talk old home versus new home, pros and cons. For me, I look at an old home. I think you're going to get a mature yard. Maybe you get mature trees that have been planted. You don't have to worry about coming in and landscaping your yard from scratch because it's already done. I think about maybe somebody's done a bunch of improvements to the house already. They've already built a patio cover, or they've done stuff, put a pool and put stuff in the house. So those would be the advantages of an existing home. But the advantage of a new home would be, like you said, there's a lot of tech, the newer tech in new homes, right? You have more efficient water heaters. You have more efficient, electrical stuff. A lot of times you have fire sprinklers are almost required in all of them. Solar is a big thing.
Foam insulation.
So you have a lot of tech stuff that's into whatever. And I think when you buy a new home, not that you can't have issues with a new home, because I know somebody who's bought a house that's still having stuff fixed on their new house, but there's no hidden problems per se, because you could have the best inspector ever and you could still buy a used house, and a month in you have like a pipe break or something, because you're buying a home that could be 20, 30, 40 years, 50, maybe even 100 years old. There could be hidden things that you don't know because the house is used.
Yeah.
Right.
And you do have builder warranties when you buy a brand new home too. 10
Which is super important.
1 year, everything. Yeah, it's super important. And you do get those as protection, which is nice. Someone asked if new homes are required to have solar panels. There is a solar obligation with all new homes. I don't know exactly which year that went into place. Maybe 2023. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think my husband's watching. If you look it up, let us know. But there is a required solar obligation. So some of the developments here in town are giving you paid for solar. You don't have to lease it. You don't have to pay for it. It's built into the price.
Like what? Give us an example. Elliott Ranch?
Elliott Ranch. Yep.
So Elliott Ranch, for those who are wondering, Elliott Ranch is in what they call it. So Elliott Homes is building in Elliott Ranch, where I call it Simmerhorn Ranch. This is the project. And we can maybe share that up. It's over across the freeway where they've been talking about doing the Mavericks project up on the front part. So the back part of that project going towards Marengo is where Elliott. So you have
between Simmerhorn and Bossa.
Between Simmerhorn, Bossa Road, before you get to Marengo, it's out there. So on the east side of the highway, that's the Elliott Homes, right?
Yeah, it's a really cool project. I'll tell you about it real quick.
Okay.
There's 2 single family home communities, Sage and Willow. Willow are the bigger homes, a little bit nicer. Sage is a little bit smaller homes. And then they're going to do another veranda community, which is what's on the corner of Carillion and Walnut.
Like the townhomes type thing.
Yeah, they call them patio homes.
It's and that'll be a spot that's been designated for a higher density.
Yes. Yeah. And then they will have a 55 plus component there. It won't be gated.
Oh, really?
Huh. That'll be in the back corner by Simmerhorn and Marengo, I believe.
Where that home is, where kind of that one home is, and that whole square, there's still an existing home over there. Okay, so back over there. Right.
And then there's space for an elementary school there,
which will probably never happen.
Not
in the next 20 or 30 years. It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
Maybe 30, but
and then everything between, not everything, but a lot between Carillion and the freeway is commercial.
Right.
Now, if you go over to Elliott, to that project over there, you've seen since they've started building, there's a lot of homes they've built already.
Yeah.
But what's important for people to understand is all of these developments, or most of these developments that we're talking about, a lot of these new developments, they build and then they sell the house. So it's not like, in the old days, you might have been able to go to the builder and say, hey, we want to build this house, but we want this.
But I don't think they're all doing it. I don't think
this.
they're all doing it though. I think some are only building once they sell a house. They have the models, and once they sell, then they build a house.
But I think what's being built right now, a lot of it is they're building and then selling.
Like in the fairways, I think in the fairways, over there behind like Dudley's house.
Yeah,
I think the K-Hov homes. I think on those they're building as they sell.
They have a mix.
Oh, okay.
So those you can buy dirt, build, and customize, and then
so let's stick with Elliot for a second, then we'll jump on a different person. So Elliot, so in your opinion, on a scale of 1 to 10 with being location, in your opinion, what do you think? A scale of 1 to 10, 10 being a really good location, like out of all the homes that are being in town, you think that location is the best location as far as geography? That would be a 10. So scale of 1 to 10, that spot for Elliot, what do you think?
It's hard for me to put a number on. It's so subjective because some people buy for school districts, some people buy for proximity to,
what school district is that in?
So
because it's right across the highway from Galt High, but it's on the east side. So is it Liberty Ranch?
So for elementary, it's River Oaks, which is on the east side.
Okay.
And for high school, it's Galt High School.
Interesting. That is interesting.
So I actually have a number of clients who, and this is very common, are determining between like the Meritage homes by Liberty Ranch and Elliott Ranch, which we are speaking about right now. And a big determining factor is the schools for them, because their kids are already going to schools on the east side and they want them to go to Liberty Ranch with their friends.
And I see about that. Yeah, whatever. But I can't say as far as the quality of the schools though. And this is a myth that I hope a lot of people don't believe in, but there really is not a big difference between Liberty Ranch and Galt High School. Both are exceptional schools programs as far as the academics they're offering. Both have good sports programs. Even some, say, well, Liberty Ranch football does a little better than Galt, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, some of the sports, but then you have other sports where Galt does really good and maybe Liberty Ranch. So on the sports side of it, you can go back and forth. But as far as the school campus, the quality of the campus, the quality of the classrooms, Galt actually has some newer facilities than Liberty Ranch has. We have a brand new science building, industrial, the ag building's brand new. So there is actually, you can say, well, if your kid's into FFA, which is a better school, if your kid's into sports, which is a better school, I think you could go back and forth. Unfortunately, you can do that. But I think if you were to do apples with apples, school to school, I don't think that one school is better than the other school.
I agree. They're so comparable, but people,
but geography plays a part. If you live on the east side, do you want your kid to have to go all the way over?
Yeah. Or if your kid goes to elementary, so the weird thing about River Oaks now is everyone that goes to River Oaks won't go to Liberty Ranch.
Right.
They'll get split off, but they do come together for middle school at McCaffrey.
For McCaffrey, right. So yeah. So your friends, so to say that, well, my kid, my son or daughter wants to go to the school where their friends are going, but they're all going to McCaffrey.
So they'll make, so they're all going to go.
So anyways. So that's what's weird about that.
I agree. Talking about the location though, I love the location between Simmerhorn and Bosso. It's so close to get on the freeway to go north or south. Okay. You can go to amenities on both sides of town. I think it's a great location.
Okay. So give it like a 7, 8, somewhere in there, higher than that.
It's hard for me to get a number. There's pros and cons.
I like how you're trying to be non-biased, but okay.
Do a lot of these developers that are being built now, do they have their own realtors, or is like you guys are an independent realtor? So if I want to buy a house.
So they all have like new home counselors that work for the builders, but all of the builders in town right now currently are working with realtors, which is so important that buyers, if you are looking at new construction, you hire or work with your own realtor. We currently have a client who's going to be putting their home on the market soon. They bought one of the last homes built in Cardoso Dairy, and they did not have representation when they bought it. And they probably could have negotiated on the price more than they did, and now they have to resell it. And they might be upside
the
down
Cardoso Dairy. Those are the KB homes that are down over by
cost.
No, not off KB. Cost. It was.
Oh, they weren't KB. That's right, they weren't KB. But they're on the other side of Cost Road on the south side. They're the southernmost new homes being built in Galt.
Yeah.
Over there, down off Joy. You go down Joy by the cemetery, and then you cross over Cost, and it's all actually you turn right and it's go down across the tracks.
On the other side of the tracks. Yeah.
Other side of the tracks down on the old what's called the Cardoso Dairy. So, but
beautiful homes, but nonetheless.
You know what's great about that? You know what's great about those homes in that Cardoso Dairy is the backdrop is the river and the creek, and there's nothing. Nobody will ever build back there behind you.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's just like the fairways. Like they have all those mature oak trees in the back, and it's beautiful.
So let's go on to the next one. So that's Elliott.
Okay.
And Elliott's price point is on out of all the ones that are being built right now. Are they on the higher scale, lower scale?
They're pretty moderate. So they start out at $534 for their smallest floor plan, and then their biggest floor plan, their multi-gen suite, is $726. So
Wow.
yeah, good value.
No, I mean,
with
that's
the
going
solar
rate for stuff.
included, it's amazing. One thing about Elliott is they're not huge on incentives. So they make no promises out the gate of interest rates or closing cost credits. It's on a case by case basis.
But Elliott in Europe, and I'm not in tune as much as you are, but Elliott is one of the better home builders out there. You probably think.
Absolutely.
Out of all the ones that are being built in Galt, Elliott is probably one of the top, as far as we're talking quality of a build.
Absolutely.
Right?
And
I mean, I don't think they build as good
long.
a houses as they used to in the old days. But with that said, Elliott has been known traditionally to be a builder. Elliott built all the baseball street houses, right?
Yep.
Which are very popular, right?
Very popular. Yeah. And they've built older homes in Galt too, over in the River Oaks neighborhood, closer to Marengo. But they have such a good track record in Galt that's the reason they don't have to give incentives, because people know and love them already.
True.
Yep.
All right. Next one.
Okay. Let's talk about Meritage by Liberty Ranch.
So Meritage is Liberty Ranch. That's the big, huge Eastview project by Liberty Ranch High School.
So they own 3 villages. I think there's a total of like 12 or 14.
Okay.
And they are technically 3 different communities: Monument, Rushmore, and Vernon. Each of those has 4 floor plans. So a total of 12 floor plans. A lot of variety over there.
So there's a lot. You have 12 floor plans to pick from.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
And they are bigger homes. So like they're all pretty close in size, from about 2,000 square feet to about 3,000 square feet. They have really good sized lots, which is very advantageous.
Which is rare.
Every single lot you can fit a pool on.
Now, when you say big, like what are we talking?
Over 6,000 square feet, but
6,000 doesn't seem big to me.
Yeah, no, it's not huge, but they're positioned really well.
Oh, okay.
So they're deep. You can fit a pool.
So my house is 1,100 square feet, and my lot is 6,500 square feet. So, I mean, and it still is very proportionate. I have a nice sized front yard. I have a decent sized backyard. But you're right. In this day and age, it's not uncommon to see 5,000 square foot lots. It's not uncommon to see 2,000 square foot homes or more on a lot that's 5,000 square feet.
But they also have like 8,000 square foot lots. So they're not super wide. They don't have a lot of RV access, but they're all pretty deep, which is nice.
Okay. All right. And the quality of a Meritage home, you think is pretty good or no?
Yeah, they're pretty like middle of the road, not super luxurious, not poorly built, just like pretty solid. My cousin actually just bought a 25-year-old Meritage home out in Rockland, and it's aged really well. So
that's good to know.
That was kind of good information.
So what's the one caveat with the Meritage homes though? So the Meritage so far probably has the most selection as far as floor plans. The location is probably okay. You're kind of out in the country. You're on the east side. That's the way Galt's growing. The disadvantages I personally would see in that project is that is the biggest project in Galt. When full build out, it'll be like 1,300 and some odd homes, right? But that could take 20 years. So there's a likely chance that if you buy a house in one of those 3 villages that you just mentioned, right, that you could live in that house for 10 or 15 years. And so on the plus side, you look out and you're not going to see, because that project is not going to build out, in my opinion, anytime soon, to full build. You'll have a view of the country still, but that view could also be just open dirt lots that houses are supposed to be built on, and they're not. So you're seeing, so if you've ever been in a subdivision where the streets are all done, but the houses aren't built, that may be what your neighborhood looks like to some respect for years.
Yeah. And they built a lot of homes fast. So I have some clients that already live there. They're like, sometimes it feels like a ghost town, like lots of homes built that aren't quite occupied yet. So they kind of slowed down building, are trying to sell before they like
and that's one of the questions I have on these developers that are building these homes and then selling like Meritage is I would like to know how many homes they've built and how many they've actually sold.
Okay.
Because, I can tell you that. Because my question is, if they've built 80 homes, but they've only sold 25, then what's the market really look like? Versus,
so do you have numbers on that? For
if they built 80 and they've sold 50 or 60 homes, now you know what the market looks like there too.
So Meritage is going to build a total of 173 homes, and so far they've sold about 60.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So
holy cow, that's more than I thought.
Yeah, me too.
So Elliott, the one you were just talking about, the guy comes in the coffee shop, the guy that runs. So he was in my coffee shop this morning. He says they've
contractor.
Yeah, he sold. Okay. They said they sold 18 homes in Elliott right now, which is pretty good because Elliott just started building.
They just started. Yeah, they're the last one.
They've sold 18 homes.
That's more than they told me today. But
really? He could be off, but that came right from his mouth today. So 18.
Yeah. And Elliott is building a total of Well, 104 in just the single family home communities, Sage and Willow, 104 plus 147. So what is that? 250.
251. Yeah.
251.
251. Okay.
But they do smaller releases. They release like 6 to 8 homes at a time. Wait for them to sell.
So far we got Meritage has 12 floor plans, so you get the most variety. You tend to have bigger lots, so the lots can tend to be bigger. The disadvantages would be you're going to be in a community that's set to be a lot bigger than it is, but it's not going to build out right now. So you might have more open lots that stay open for a long time.
They have the infrastructure
and they
bond.
have the infrastructure bond. Let's talk about that. This is a big one, folks. This is a big deal. Meritage homes at Liberty Ranch this is the ones by Liberty High School. They have an infrastructure bond. This is a special type of Melrose on top of your property taxes that they were legally obligated to go out for, and the city had to grant them this by law, where they are trying to reimburse themselves for the infrastructure costs that they had to put in for the whole project, like streets and lights and all kinds of stuff. So it added an additional money. So those homes, instead of having your 1.1%, it's about 1.99, something like that. So you're basically, so to give you a perspective, what that means, if you bought a house for, what are Meritage houses selling for? 600, 700 something?
Yeah.
So if you bought a house for 700,000 in one of the bigger ones, if you bought a house for 700 grand, no matter how much money you put down, it's all based on the purchase price. Your taxes on top of your mortgage every year, you're going to be paying $14,000. $14,000 a year just in property tax and infrastructure bond. So basically break that into a 12-month payment. So you're paying more than $1,000 on top of your mortgage for just something, and it will never go away. It's a 30-year bond. So that's something to think about. I'm not trying to deter you from buying home over there. I'm just know what you're getting into when you go over there. Know that they're required by law to tell you this stuff when they say a home. But just saying.
That's probably why they have the best incentives too.
So they're really trying to make it offset that cost with their, yeah. Makes sense.
Speaking of solar, at the Meritage homes, solar can be leased or purchased. So you can ask for that to be paid off as one of the incentives, or you can lease it for like $70 a month.
Okay. All right. So moving on. What's our next one? Let's talk about another significant one.
Okay. Let's talk about, someone earlier asked about Dry Creek Oaks by Riverland Homes, the 55 plus community.
Yeah, that's the one that's pretty well built out. This is the one off Bosso. You go down Bosso Road. It's the one that's pretty much, the one side is already all done. This is a 55 plus community.
There's still quite a few spots available in there.
Yeah, they're about halfway done. So they're going to build a total of 206, and they've sold about 110.
Okay.
Riverland Homes is a really great builder, small builder.
You know what? We went in those homes. Remember?
Yep.
We went in and viewed those homes. I actually will give kudos to this house. It's a 55 and older community. So again, you're not going to get big yards. You're going to have small yards and all that stuff because it's geared towards, a senior that doesn't want to have to take care of that stuff. But I'm not going to lie. The house inside, you know what I really liked about those? It was really roomy. The hallways, because they're building things wide because somebody might be in a wheelchair or whatever. The hallways are really wide and it's really open. Like it doesn't seem small at all. Even the entryways into the rooms, the shower into the entries into the showers and stuff were like really open. And I was actually kind of impressed by them, honestly. And I don't get impressed by new homes. I actually thought they were pretty cool.
No, they've done a great job, truly. I think they're great builders. With their HOA, you get front yard landscaping and then a ton of amenities. So you get a huge
there's an HOA with those. But the HOA, they actually take care of your landscaping, so you don't have to do, and there's no maintenance required on landscaping at all. They do it all front. Right?
Yeah.
So you have a backyard that's shipped to you,
and the HOA is $223 per month at completion.
Okay.
Which is pretty good. I think that's lower than Emerald Oaks or whatever it is behind Rayleigh's.
Okay.
And you get tons of amenities, pickleball courts, a gym, bocce ball.
All that's
pools,
included.
All that's included.
All that's part of,
And it's a really beautiful neighborhood. It's gated.
Yeah, we know. I know people that live in there.
Yeah, it's nice.
And they like it. They have not complained. They said they'd like it. They like their community. They really like it now. They have a stop sign on Bosso now because that was a little dangerous for them to pull out right there. But I think that's a great addition to Galt, I have to say, because we need senior housing, and I know it's not senior, it's not senior housing that's been it's low. It's not affordable housing, in my opinion, like senior housing that way, but it is for people who have means, have a nice retirement or have social whatever that can afford to buy a house. It's a great community, I think.
So the other cool thing about this community as well is, one, they offer a ton of customization. So you can pick your flooring, you can pick your countertops, your backsplash, all of that. Really cool feature.
Okay.
And then also their solar obligation, they have it's called the SMUD solar share, I think. And homeowners pay $10 a month and then get the solar credits for that. And SMUD puts a solar field somewhere far away, instead of having to put solar on the roof. Or lease solar. So I think that's a great option.
So what's our next project?
Let's talk about Fairways by K. Hovnanian.
Okay, so this is the one that's over off Fairway Drive, over there behind Glendale Avenue, Southdale Court, all back in that corner off Cornell. We have a map up. Killen's going to kind of circle that. It's off of Cornell. She's going to circle it with her cursor for those who are looking down here in the bottom right, number 12.
My favorite way to enter this community is through Creekside, because Creekside is one of my favorite communities in Galt. It's very well established. K. Hovnanian builds a beautiful home. They feel the least track home. They feel the most
I haven't been in them, but I would agree by driving by them. I actually I drove by the other day. They have this mid-century looking garage doors and front doors. They actually look pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
They're gorgeous. They don't build entry-level homes. They all have tons of upgrades, beautiful vaulted ceilings,
really
nicer countertops. Yeah, the stairwells, their railing is always like
so
beautiful.
you're not buying a Honda, you're getting like maybe an Audi or a Mercedes or something a little higher end. Well, no, I would call it a Mercedes.
Maybe not a Mercedes, but maybe like a Lexus or
yeah. So it's better. So you're getting a little better quality. So you're getting more amenities for your money. Starting off, right?
Yeah. They have a very beautiful 3rd generation home where you have like a apartment inside your home on a single story floor plan, which is amazing.
Really?
That's just part of this project.
Yep.
In the Fairways? Huh.
Yep.
You know what I like about that project? Again, I'm not, just to be clear, we're not here to pump up any particular, we have no skin in the game at all. I could give a rat's ass about which home or whatever. We're just here trying to educate you all and give our opinions of what we think. I think, in my opinion, the Fairways are the best location in town because if the backdrop is up against, they're kind of like the one we mentioned over there at the Cordosa Dairy. The backdrop is the golf course and the trees and stuff.
It's gorgeous.
And it's actually a really nice location. It's tucked back in the corner.
Those lots are also really big. That community is going to have the most RV access of any in Galt.
A lot of lots that can be used for a lot of corner lots, larger deep lots that can be used for RV. I noticed that. Yeah.
Wider lots, which is nice.
Yeah. And how many have they sold so far? Do you know?
This is actually crazy. They just opened their models like 2 weeks ago and they've already sold 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
They just got the models done. Yeah.
And they're building a total of about 160.
Total when it's all done. Yeah. I went through there and saw quite a few homes being built. So probably the 6 they've sold. I think I saw about 5 or 6 houses being built.
And they have the biggest. Oh no, Summerfield has the biggest. Outside of Summerfield, they have the second biggest floor plan, up to 3,200 square feet.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what's the price points on those?
Those start in the low 600s and then go up to the low 800s.
Low 800s? Wow. Whew. Okay. So if you were to compare the Elliott homes with the K-Hoff, you said Elliott's has a reputation for building a good home as far as quality. That's a proven thing. K-Hoff, you said, tends to build a higher end. You're getting more amenities. You're getting, countertops, things like that, whatever. So could be apples and apples. Would you compare those two as very comparable?
Quality is pretty similar, but K. Hovnanian is more luxurious.
Really?
They've already built in Galt. They've built off of Orr Road, like Idlewise and Sparrow. Those homes are all K.
I didn't know those were K-Hoff homes.
Yep, and they've all aged really well.
Interesting. No, they are. Those are interesting. Okay, did not know that.
Their taxes are comparable to Summerfield, if anyone's curious.
Yeah, no infrastructure bond on those though. So again, that infrastructure bond we mentioned, that's only on the Liberty Ranch project on the Meritage homes. So Fairways is good. We talked about them. What's the next one?
We kind of went into the Townsend Cottages behind Grocery Outlet, so we don't need to go into that too much. They have 3-story homes, which is different. It's not super common
very
here.
Interesting. Yeah. So those are going to be your cheaper ones on the cheaper, most affordable.
Yes.
As far as price point.
I do want to say about the Lennar homes is they build very pretty homes and they're very good at their floor plans. They use their space really well. So for a small home, you get they maximize it well. And then let's talk about Summerfield, the executive style housing behind
the executive,
gates.
not executive style. Yeah, this is the new gated neighborhood. So to be clear, and I personally don't like this project because it's just the way it transpired. It's not the project specifically. There's something wrong with it. It's just me personally, the way it came into fruition and stuff. But with that being said, this is the only gated neighborhood that's being built in town. This will have a gated entry, right?
Yeah, you don't have to be 55 and older to live in.
That you don't have to be 55 and older. This is an open market for anybody. Yeah. So this is the one on Twin Cities where you drive down Twin Cities, where Marengo dives into Twin Cities. It's the one right there on the left. That's the Summerfield.
Yeah. And some people really like
number
that it's
14 on the map here.
Some people really like that it's gated. For me, that doesn't mean much to me personally, but what I like about it is that there's ranchettes on all around it. So it feels very kind of separated, secluded, not too congested. Lennar, those homes they have the most 3-car garages in town. They are beautiful homes. There will be like parks in there that will be cool. The HOA on that, let me tell you what that is, will be $231 per month, $231. Less amenities, obviously, than a 55.
So gated neighborhood is the advantage there. Most 3-car garages offered. Lennar, in my opinion, I'm not a big fan of Lennar as a home builder, but you did say they like to utilize space good on the smaller floor plans. I'll save my judgment on saying anything outside of that for Lennar. But price point on those?
Those range from $635,000 to $765,000.
So for a gated neighborhood that has the most 3-car garages, I mean, the price point seems like it's more competitive than KHOV. KHOV has some in the 800s.
It has to be because they have the HOA.
Oh, okay.
So it's a wash.
Account. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay.
And while they build nice homes and they're beautiful homes, KHOV is still a little more luxurious.
Okay.
A little more custom feeling.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
So any other ones that we should mention, or those are the main ones?
Those are the main ones.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So overall, just reassessing what we've talked about, in your opinion, I mean, obviously we're talking about lots of different fruit here. We can't really say apples to apples. We're apples and oranges and grapefruits because you have one that builds a more luxurious home, but they tend to be more expensive. Obviously you have some that have bigger lots. So they're kind of all over the place. It's really just a preference of what you're looking for. If you're looking for a great location, I personally think the Fairways is the best location in town. One could argue that Summerfield has a great spot because you're kind of out there in the country and it kind of borders to a Becker Ranchette. So if you get a house on the perimeter, you're going to basically have a view of the country kind of out, behind you. One could say, well, Elliott's the best because it's a great spot, access to freeway stuff. Elliott builds one of the better homes known to be built, so that their quality reputation follows them. So you really could go, and then Meritage, you have 12 floor plans. So if you have the most variety with Meritage.
There's kind of a caveat to that though. Meritage, builds spec homes. Buyers don't get to pick anything.
Right. Oh.
Everything is pre-picked and they don't sell homes until they are completed or everything's already picked.
Oh, okay.
So zero customization. You kind of got to like what they're putting in
so
there.
Not to throw stink, and I know you're not here to do that, so I don't want to ask you to do that, but I will be more than happy to do that. If you're looking at all the ones we've talked about from top to bottom, best to worst, in my opinion, I think Meritage would be low on the list because they have the infrastructure bond, which drives the cost up. Even though you can offset that with some of their incentives, I still think that's to me, that's a deal killer for me. They build spec homes. Quality, probably not bad. You probably do a decent home. I, for one, just wouldn't want to buy a house in a neighborhood that I felt that like the last 20 lots may not get built for another 3 or 4 years. And I'm staring at like what could become weeds and stuff. I don't even know. Are they required to maintain that stuff? Dan, do you know?
Oh yeah. They got the weed abatement. I mean, that's part of the city's rules, but that whole Northeast project out there, Sean, we're talking about Meritage. Meritage is only building the first 3 villages, but there's a possibility that Elliott could buy a village.
Right,
there's a possibility that KHOV could buy a village.
Tim Lewis was going to at one time.
Right. They actually were approved. Their plans were approved.
So we're just talking about the ones that have been built now.
We're just talking about what's been approved.
But the next village, the next developer
could come in and buy part of there. Yeah, that whole project could be built by any of these builders.
Right. Okay.
So it's not just
point. That's a good point.
We don't want to just say that Meritage is building all of that project.
Yeah.
They're just building the first 3 villages that are currently being built.
Good point.
But so what my thing is, the infrastructure bond will be put on
everything.
that's built out on that side of town, that section or that project
Liberty
out there,
Ranch.
the Liberty Ranch project.
So Harry Wenzel said, in general, I know we're going over on time, but I appreciate everybody sticking with us. This is one of our longer episodes because of the amount of, we still have some stuff to give away here in a few minutes. So we'll be wrapping up here soon, but I appreciate you guys sticking with us a little longer than normal, but this is an important topic. Harry Wenzel says, in general, that buyers are buying homes that cost less than their previous home. True, false? False. I mean, everything costs more now, right?
Unless they're selling a country home to buy in town, almost everyone's.
I remember when Dan used to tell me when they built the Keystone homes, you couldn't believe that actually
was the first $500,000 subdivision homes in Galt.
He's like, Galt has homes that are half a million dollars.
$500,000 is still $500,000.
That's a starter home now. Devin and I were just talking about it earlier today.
That's insane to me.
It's hard.
Oh, 500 is definitely
prices. These prices to me are insane.
So real quick, real estate question.
Can I ask a question about the prices? As a realtor, if I go out to buy a $600,000 home, how much money down am I probably going to need on average? Is there 10%, 20%?
A lot of people do 3.5 FHA.
3.5%.
Mm-hmm. But then your payment's that much bigger.
Right.
So it's very different. 3.5 is usually.
But 10% of a $600,000 home, that's a large amount of money.
Just tell me this, Maddie. You said it's very commonplace to see homes in Galt being sold and people's mortgages $4,000 to $5,000.
Oh yeah,
that is
most
incredible to me.
But do you think that the cost of the mortgages, like we're selling these homes and people are buying these homes, but do you think people are getting in too far into debt with some of these homes? Are we going to end up seeing a bubble burst, or are you going to start seeing foreclosures happening? Are you going to start? I mean, that's one of my concerns with the prices that we have. But it's the prices everywhere in California are the same. It's not. I mean, relative to where you live, and it's not like Galt's trying to price itself out of the market.
No, that's just the going.
I mean, people are making more money now than ever.
That's true,
and that's something to take into consideration. But some people are very comfortable, getting a mortgage that's 55% of their gross pay.
Yeah.
For me, that makes me want to puke. I would not be going to dinner. I would not be having.
Harry Wenzel says, how much do you have to put down to avoid the mortgage insurance PMI?
20%. If you do like 15%, you can like buy it out ahead of time. You still have it, but you can.
So that's
pay it
a required
front.
mortgage insurance. That's an additional cost every year that you have to pay if you don't because you're carrying such a huge amount on the mortgage, right? So.
VA
all right,
loans,
so Dan, if you want to grab the Warriors shirt and hat right over there underneath that one, and we'll get ready to give that out so we can give away our little things. And then I have something for Dan, actually. So it's going to be fun. Yeah, Dan's got to get up and grab this stuff real quick. So what we're going to do is we're going to give away some Taco de Mayo tickets. Should we give the hat and the shirt away separate and these separate to somebody else? Okay, we'll do that then. All right. So our question is, first person that can put it up in the chat to win. What are they winning, Dan?
Sorry.
Oh, this is a hat, by the way. We're not giving that out.
Not that one,
but that's like the one she has.
Oh, okay, but we're going to give away a Parker Realty hat that looks like this. Okay, really cool hat. It's got a leather patch on it. Really cool. Okay, we're going to give away a Galt Warriors hat. All right, it's a flex fit. One size fits all kind of dealy bob.
Nice.
And the shirt. So Dan, want to hold that up?
Is that a jersey?
It is a Galt Warriors
baseball shirt. That's really cool. So hold it up for the camera. Galt Warrior baseball. So if you want to flaunt some swag from Galt High and you want a Parker Realty hat, the question to win these items here is going to be, what was Madison's grandfather's first name? We mentioned it a few minutes ago. So first person to put that up will win these items right here. And then we're going to do one for the Taco de Mayo.
I use it on a daily basis.
Yeah, exactly. All right. And then next.
What was his first name?
First name.
Do you know anyone that wants to be your neighbor? Someone's listing their house in your neighborhood soon.
Is that right?
Very nice house.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Debbie got it. Debbie,
you know that houses
Van
in my
Parker.
neighborhood on
Van
my
Parker
street
is the name.
very, very rarely come up for sale.
Oh, so rare.
Yeah. So
looks like Debbie got the Van Parker. So Debbie, let us know.
But is it Van?
Mm-hmm. His middle name is Manson.
Yeah.
Devin said bus.
Yeah, you're disqualified, Devin. You can't guess. You're come on.
That's,
All right.
That's the name of the street I live on, Van Parker, and I always thought it was interesting.
So what's the question going to be for the what's the trivia going to be for these? What should we use for to win the Taco de Mayo tickets? What can we think of? We got to think of something good.
I don't know.
Think of a question. Think of a good question that we've talked about on the show that someone will have to know. While you think about that, and Maddie gives it away. So
we could ask whether Maddie's going to have a boy or girl. If
Oh,
anybody's
it's all
watching,
about
they
me?
should know.
My gosh.
Yeah,
or something like that.
That might be too easy, though. That might be too easy.
What else did we cover?
Yeah. Okay. We mentioned that the Galt Youth Commission gave us a bunch of words that were Galt, that they said pertain to Galt. I listed them all. Name just one of those words that was given by a youth commissioner that described Galt. If you can mention one word, you'll win the Taco de Mayo tickets. And while we wait for that to come up, Nate Potato got it already. Little.
For the record,
Little
I
and
think
farm.
it's NATO potato.
NATO Potato. Yeah. Oh, Miguel, all you guys got.
But and one thing real quick too before
I tell you what, if Nate Potato doesn't want these, we'll give them to the second person, because I know Nate lives out of town and he may not go to the Tacos de Mayo. He wants the what? Oh, okay. You know what? We're gonna give Nate a podcast t-shirt. We're gonna be picking those up tomorrow. So Nate, we're gonna give you a podcast t-shirt. So we'll make sure you get that. And we're gonna go to give these to Ruby Maberto. So the Taco de Mayo will go to Ruby Maberto. So thank you very much for that. But before you go, something very important. So the last show, Dan was complaining that he didn't get a hat that fit him. He says, I win all these hats all the time.
They don't fit me.
And they don't fit me. And so he's always complaining that he doesn't have a hat. Well, we have something for you, Dan.
Uh-oh.
This is just for you, Dan.
You'll be lucky if it fits.
You're right. Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah.
You don't think it'll fit?
I don't know.
I think it'll fit, Dan. I'm confident that it'll fit. Are you ready? Okay, here we go.
Biggie, 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 can't you see? Sometimes I just hypnotize, and I just love your flashy ways.
That's way too big.
Where did you get that?
No
That's
kidding.
hilarious.
It'll fit over your headphones.
Right. God dang.
You got to wear that.
I
to
love
the
it.
Dairy Bowl.
There you go. Huh? Like
That's
that?
good.
Jesus.
So
Man.
it's actually on loan. I can't really give it
That's
to you.
crazy.
So they make these. They're made by they're made by a company called Noggin.
Is that for the Junior Warriors or
Noggin
something?
Boss. Noggin Boss.
Sean's crying.
Yeah.
He's literally
It's
crying
so
at his
funny.
own joke. I love it.
Jeez.
So there's a foam insert that goes in here, and it has a smaller
okay.
hole, so you can wear. This is like a big trend right now.
You
where
know,
people
that
find
almost fit, actually. It almost fit.
Hey, Big Papa right here. Look at that. Anyways, well, I want to thank the Junior Warriors for loaning us. So, and thank Noel.
Nice.
This actually belongs to him. Thank you for that. That was awesome.
Hey.
We'll have to get you one though.
Yeah, I'd try. Hey, before we wrap up talking about homes and stuff real quick, I want to let everybody know tomorrow night is a planning commission meeting at 6:00 at City Hall.
Okay.
And there are 2 projects
Oh, really?
up for review tomorrow. And one of them is the Dry Creek West project.
So that's across from the Dry Creek Oaks.
Yeah, it's not within the
This
gated
is where
area.
you go. This is where you go down Boss Out, and we just talked about it. The 55 plus community we just talked about.
Mhm.
It's right on that vacant land. That's right on
But
the
it's between
Closer to the golf course.
closer to the golf course, between there and the freeway.
Yeah.
There's some vacant strip of land there,
Yeah.
and it's supposed to have like a 55 community, but it's got like I think an apartment building. There's
Huh.
all kinds of different things we're gonna be looking at tomorrow.
Is
on
the
that.
apartment's going to be 55 only?
I believe so. It's senior apartments. I
Oh,
believe.
well, that
That would be good.
Yeah.
would be good for golf.
believe so.
Yeah.
And then
So-
there's also a second project we're looking at tomorrow and I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it's up kind of by Wind Drive right there
Yeah.
to the south
Oh,
of
that's
there.
a-
There's
that's
an
a little-
open.
That's a little infill
Yeah,
project that's
yeah,
filling in
between there
between
and
the
Ayers
neighborhood.
Lane. It's not real big,
Yeah.
but that's coming in
And
front
so
of
for
us
those
tomorrow
of you
too.
people that think that,
So-
like, if you would want to understand how growth works and you want to attend the planning commission meeting at 6 p.m. and watch, you'll
And these
notice
projects are already approved.
these
They're
are
just-
approved projects. They conform with zoning.
Yeah.
The city cannot deny these projects, but the planning commission dives into
We're looking at
the
their
details of the
design
project, the
plans and
design
things like that
plans,
that
the
they're bringing
houses, and they have say on that stuff. So that's what they discuss, and that's what you.
So if anybody wants to go, 6:00 tomorrow night, City Hall, Planning Commission.
Yeah. Want to thank the rest of our sponsors, Mr. Sean Farrell. We want to give a special shout out to our friend Dudley Cox tonight. Our good friend Dudley, he's an 88-year-old English gentleman who is a very, very good friend of Dan and I, and he has been very ill. He's dealing with some heart problems, and he just came from the hospital, and he's basically struggling, and so our heart goes out to him and his family. So shout out to Dudley.
Yep. He's one of our Sunday breakfast buddies and our poker buddy and our just a really great guy.
He is a great guy.
And like, one thing Dudley always tells us all the time is, I wish I'd met you guys 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree. Yeah.
I'm getting emotional just talking about it. So anyways, so thank you for watching. Our sponsors again, the rest of them: Sean Farrell, Spawn's Cookie Company, Ward Engineering, Best Western Next Generation Barbershop, King Sound Productions. Thank you for just renewing your membership. Renewing your sponsorship. Brian King, thank you. American Paving Systems, L'Haim of Galt, Mariscos, Las Eslitas, Electric Hair Studio, and Dry Creek Family Dental, Dr. Dave. Thank you.
Fandango Club.
And the Fandango Club, of course, the Fandango Club. So thank you everybody for watching. And remind you, we have our next week's show. Our next week's show, Dan will be gone, unfortunately. I'm sorry. We will have a guest host coming in, filling in. I believe it's going to be JT is going to fill in. So that should be a lively one.
Could be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. And then after that, we have some couple good guests coming up. We're going to be talking about the Makers Market that's happening on May 2nd. So we'll have somebody here talking about that. And then we also have Mr. Mark Jackson, who's one of your fellow planning commissioners, local business owner. And we're going to be talking about the subject of homelessness and the St. Martin Foundation, all that they do. So that will be a very important show, very good topic that we haven't really talked about yet. So
thank you, Maddie, for being here.
Thank you guys so much for
appreciate
having
it.
me.
Thank you so much. And thank you again. And good luck with the baby. When do you do?
Thank you. August 3rd.
August 3rd.
Yeah.
All right. Congratulations, Devin.
If you guys have any questions about anything real estate, follow us on Instagram. We are Parker Realty or at Delbrug Team. We'd be happy to help you.
Yep. And you can also email greatamericanlittletown@gmail.com.
My son's birthday is August 4th.
Really?
My son and my sister.
This baby will be coming out not a day past 39 weeks. So it'll be a July baby. Don't you worry.
All right, guys. Well, thank you again for tuning in. Have a great evening. We'll see you all next week. Good night.
Night.
Eyes on the mic, Sean and Dan, talking small town life where it all began. Galt's got charming stories to spare, from the city news to the country air. The great American little town, where the news is small but the pride's profound. Grab a coffee, sit back. It's all going down on the great American little town. Sports scores, local clubs, and a parade. Dan cracks a joke, Sean throws some shade. Local gossip and a heartfelt cheer. It's Galt's heartbeat right here. The great American little town, where the news is small but the pride's profound. Grab a drink, sit back. It's all going down on the great American little town. Sean and Dan with the hometown spin. Tune in weekly and you're all in. The great American little town.